on Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Some days feel heavier than others, especially after a storm like Helene. If you're still feeling the weight of trying to rebuild, you're not alone. Call the Hope for NC helpline and talk to someone who's ready to listen and offer support. Visit hope4nc.org for free confidential 24/7 support. That's hopefornc.org.
Dan Scott here, inviting you to check out my new show every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. here on ESPN Asheville, where we bring sports and faith together. The Dan Scott Show, 8 a.m. Sundays on ESPN Asheville.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls Studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, green. That's green. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls Studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can join us in the chat each and every day. It feels like a month of Sundays since we have been with you on the program here, but coming to you live from the Ingalls Studio, I'm Tank Spencer. He is the Mullet himself. Jeremy Green, live from Mullet Manor, the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor, by the way.
What it do?
He's been playing with AI machines, and if you haven't been following on the social media, you should, because AI hates my face.
I just love that it makes you look like a... You and I have completely different problems with AI. AI makes me look like the biggest slack-jawed hillbilly you've ever seen in your life. Every time I run myself through that, I either become way better looking than I am, or I look like the guy that sweats too much at the keg party. There's no in between. You, on the other hand, you manage to somehow look more and more like a character from King of the Hill every time I hit the button.
It does love the Dale Gribble look.
You look like Hank Hill's assistant manager at Strickland Propane in the one I'm dropping today. And I look like a guy that he walks up to you and you go, he's got no less than 4 DUIs. No less.
All of the playing around with the AI is to promote the Ingalls Living the Dream Tour, Part 2, which is going to be bigger and better than ever.
We ride again. It's Living the Dream, rides again. And our shtick this year is sometimes the sequel's better than the original.
Right.
So we're making movie posters of all the famous movies that should have had a sequel, like Talladega Nights.
Right.
And Step Brothers.
Yeah.
And some where the sequel was just terrible, and we're going to do it better, like The Godfather.
The Godfather sequel. Only The Godfather 3 was bad.
Oh, I'd always been told both of them were bad, but
oh no,
I've never seen either one, so I wouldn't know.
Godfather 2 is awesome. Anyhow,
never seen it, wouldn't know.
Yeah. Wow, we gotta. mean, we got you to watch the first one. Maybe we can get you to watch the second one.
It was fine. It was just really
old.
old.
In it. You should probably,
buddy,
it is very long though.
Buddy, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you know me well enough to know that Bob De Niro ain't selling me on squat.
As an actor, he should.
I don't care. You think we think you care? We think.
You think we.
You think
care.
we care what you think? There we go. Yep. And I can't get past it.
I get it. I understand it. It's all,
Godfather sequels are a lot like Dallas Cowboy playoff wins. Never seen one, so I wouldn't know.
It has been a long time. They
had one.
They had one. Yes.
They had one.
How are you spending your time, by the way, with no football?
Playing
I mean, have you been summer scouting this whole time?
I've done a lot. Yeah, I've done a lot. We got rankings that are ready to come out in August. The websites we're redoing some stuff, getting the 25 stuff off, putting it in a folder so you can find that down the line to tell me I'm a big idiot when I get things wrong. Relaunching all that, but really above all else, playing just an insane amount of golf.
Well, that's good. Everybody's got to recharge a little bit and get outdoors, get some sunshine on that face. It's a good idea.
Oh, I mean, my face is just glowing red. If you saw me with a polo and a pair of shorts on, you would think I was a super tan human being. Until I swing a driver too hard, shirt goes up the arm, and you go, holy crap, he looks like a NASCAR.
Well, we know you haven't been, filling your time with the NBA Finals or anything like that. Cause
I did watch Game 7, and the NBA,
did you really?
Shockingly enough, the NBA did that same thing it does every time you try to tell me it's going to be awesome. You grumper in your shorts like you did last night.
Well, I mean, look, that wasn't anything that they could control. Tyrese Halliburton popping his ACL or popping his Achilles in the first quarter of Game 7 was not really anything that anybody wanted to happen.
Oh, by the way,
it does seem odd, though, that keeps happening every time a guy's playing with a sore calf.
Oh, by the way, this is I've picked up a new cause. Stop wearing low-top tennis shoes to play basketball. You know what every one of them I've ever seen's had in common? Every one of them's wearing running shoes. Hey, as a guy that played this sport for basically his entire life, they make basketball shoes that high for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing it out there. I know it. I also didn't know that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander had the ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my life. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
They look like
shoes.
Good Lord, I don't even know how to describe them. They look like what Paw Paw would wear with his velvet tracksuit. I mean, they are terribly awful.
Okay.
And they come in like 40 different colors, too. Good Lord, they're terrible. Yeah, wear high-top tennis shoes. I was fat, played this sport for 15 years, and you know what I never did? That.
Never popped an Achilles.
Nope. Also never wore running shoes.
Yeah, those are god-awful shoes.
No, they're awful. Tell me, they look like Fred Smoot calling Demetrius Knight Gangsta Granddaddy. That looks like what he would wear with a velvet tracksuit.
I mean, there are various different, color schemes
to pick up somebody's meemaw for a date at the Western Sizzlin'. Let's go.
I'm looking at one pair that is just all red with like a silver band on it and the silver star, and they look like, I don't know, the bottom part of Apollo Creed's boots.
If you haven't seen the khaki pair yet, you're really missing out. Because those bad
gross.
Boys look like they could have a Fila logo on them, and it would fit tremendously.
No doubt. No doubt about it. SGA, the big superstar of the NBA now, as the NBA MVP of the regular season, the MVP of the NBA Finals, won the scoring title. I think they said it was the first time in 25 years that someone had done all of that in one season. The Oklahoma City Thunder, first-time champions in their new home. They won as the Seattle Supersonics back in 1979, which I think I was today years old when I had learned that they had actually won a title.
I knew that only because somehow it got lost in the shuffle, and everybody in the 90s when they had Sean Kemp and Gary Payton forgot about it.
Yeah.
It was funny to hear people say, well, they're going to win their first title. Yeah, except they've already done that. Now, it was with Jack Sikma, so I'm not sure that you remember it all that well.
But as the Oklahoma City Thunder, they had never won a title under that name. So there's that. Game 7 was a letdown because, well, the one player that could have made the difference, Tyrese Halliburton.
Oh, and he was on his way to a bender too.
Oh, no doubt. He had already hit 3 threes before he had the injury. And the Pacers were up by 1 at the half, despite the fact that their star player was on the bench for the entire second quarter. And then the third quarter happened. And Oklahoma City just muscled them. Started taking the ball away, pushing the floor. 34 points in the third quarter, and it was all over from there. Indiana would cut it to 10 at one point, like 3 minutes left in the ball game, and that was short-lived.
We have a question in our YouTube chat. Soaring Eagle asked, is that trade with the Clippers the worst trade in NBA history? Yes. Yes, it is. Where they sent Paul George to L.A., they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander back in like 47 first-round picks that all became studs.
Right.
Oh, by the way, if you don't like Oklahoma City, you probably tune out of the NBA for about the next 8 years. Because they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
No, they're only going to get better.
Because they're so young.
Right. As these guys get older, they're, the youngest team since like 1974 or something like that to win a title.
Mm-hmm.
And, as Chet Holmgren learns to eat sandwiches, he may get better. He should get better. I'm just watching him shoot free throws last night going, how is this an NBA player? This guy makes Kevin Durant look like Brock Lesnar.
He really does.
I mean, his legs are so teeny tiny. I mean, of course, the guy, he's 7'1"? Is he over 7 foot, or is he just 7 foot?
I think he is 7'1".
He is a big old biggin, but he weighs 129 pounds. He looks like Jack Skellington out on the floor. Like at any moment, he's just going to break.
He said,
somehow,
Chet Holmgren, I want to see how close you can get to this. And this is listed weight, which means it's probably not accurate. Chet Holmgren is listed at 7'1". How much does he weigh?
I will say 212 pounds.
You're too high. He's 208. He's 208. But for context,
I don't think he's that much.
For context, I weighed 208 pounds one time too. 6th grade was cool.
Right.
Tank, do your sons currently weigh more than 208 pounds? They are 14.
They do. Yes.
Oh, by the way, and I have no doubt both of your 14-year-old sons could beat the bejesus out of Chet Holmgren.
I mean, he'd have the reach on him. But, yeah, he looks like he would break if you just,
I've never seen a human that thin.
Yet, here we are. Speaking of Kevin Durant going to the Houston Rockets in a big deal that's going to shake up the Western Conference.
Have you ever seen a trade package that you looked at and went, more than that one? Hey, we're going to trade one of the best scorers in the NBA, and you get probably the most overrated, overpaid player in the league in Jalen Green. Dylan Brooks, who I halfway forgot was in the league because he got replaced by Amen Thompson as the defensive stopper. And then we'll give you 5 second-round picks and a pick in a draft this week that I forgot was on Wednesday.
It's a top 10 pick, though.
I've never been so glad. You know, when we first started doing this, I was the draft guy.
Mm-hmm.
NBA, all of those things. Now I'm very happy. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do any of that.
No.
Hey, Cooper Flagg's a dog. Everybody else, might be fine.
I did the thing where I looked down the list again. They did the updated, hey, with the draft coming up on Wednesday, here's the top 100 prospects for the NBA draft. And I went down the list, and the first 4 or 5 I knew because it was like Con Kneppel and VJ Edgecombe and the 2 guys from Rutgers.
Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper.
Yeah. And then I didn't recognize another name on there until you got down to like Ryan Kalkbrenner at 33.
Yep.
Because I don't know any of the freshmen that are playing for Arizona.
I can't wait to see. All right, so you think last year was bad? At least you had Bronny James last year. I cannot wait to see the tens and tens of people that watch round 2 of the NBA draft on night 2.
Round 2 is the only one that I would want to watch. Because those are all the guys that I know.
Are they still doing it at 4 o'clock from Schenectady like they did last year? Guys, not every draft needs to be a 2-day extravaganza. Frankly, I don't even think you should get a whole night for this thing. This should be like an hour-and-a-half special on TNT, and if you run over, we're cutting off those last 5 picks. We got to get to the closer, or whatever show Angie Harmon was in.
Right. I'm just
Rizzoli and Isles
hanging on to the end of the draft, just hoping to see Vladislav Golden get drafted. Dink Pate. I have no idea who that is.
It's a great name. It's a great name.
Dink Pate.
We have a slew of super chats as we have come back here for a reuniting show on a Monday.
Indeed.
First one is from Sir Jimothy, who said, "Happy Monday."
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to lie. This is really the first day that I've been in the office where I didn't have to go somewhere. And I sat down at like 8:30 this morning and just went, I don't know what to do now. I don't know where any of my things are. I've lost a mouse somewhere.
Another super chat.
Show me the money, money. Show me the money. I want the cash.
I need you to never do that again. I knew you were going to do it because you had that look on your face. You're kind of like a toddler when you're about to do something that mom and dad are going to get mad at. You get this look on your face. This is a member super chat from Sir Jimothy, who said, "Just want to hear the woohoo from the Chainsaw Brothers."
It'll be coming up soon.
For sure.
Don't
I cannot hear that commercial anymore without just woohoo.
Woohoo! Let's go Red Sea.
He said, "Your boy got stitches in his head, but we are back, finally." I need to know the story of why you had stitches. I've done that more than it's not fun.
Oof.
It's always bad when you see that needle and you go, that's going in that thing that hurts real bad. And I don't want to do that.
There was lots of anesthetic involved in that. I would need plenty of it.
But we are very glad to have you with us through the injury.
Yes, most definitely. All right, one more.
Money. Yes, I'm talking about money.
Sir Jimothy said less MLB and NBA, more NFL, NCAA. I think that's Kentucky Fried Chicken and MMA. I'm all the way in for more Kentucky Fried Chicken. I will always sign. I will sign off on that every single time.
It's either Kentucky Fried Chicken or more breakfast. I don't know. Breakfast croissants. I'm not sure what that means.
The croissant. which is the Rolls Royce of the bread game. Well,
sandwich.
Jimothy, we only talk about Major League Baseball to make fun of it. And this segment, the day after their finals, is the first time the NBA has been brought up on this show in the calendar year of 2025. Talking about anything that wasn't making fun of them. Or Tyler Hero thinking that history started in 1950.
Absolutely. And if you're not paying attention to it, I will say, Flo, the one thing that you do need to pay attention to in Major League Baseball right now is Cal Raleigh. Smoky Mountain alum Cal Raleigh, the catcher for the Seattle Mariners. He is up to 31 home runs so far this year. He is going to smash the all-time catcher home run record if he keeps this up. He's got a chance to catch Barry Bonds as the most home runs before the All-Star break. The record's 39. He's up to 31, and there's 20 games to go.
The old Dinger King.
He's got a chance. The big dumper.
Oh, yeah, that was – I knew it was something – I knew the name was funny. I just couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah, he's on pace to hit 66 home runs this year if he keeps this up. So, I mean, that's at least one thing that you could watch and cheer for in Major League Baseball, unlike the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, and I'm not going to lie. You know, college baseball, after you just completely screwed up the end of the College World Series, you know, if you want me to watch these things, you should really stop doing dumb, ignorant things.
What did they do?
They threw out the manager and the first base coach of Coastal Carolina in the first inning.
Nice. Good job, guys.
Because one of the umpires fell over his own feet, and they said that the manager bumped him. You see on the replay, he did not touch him. He just falls over his own fat feet. And that was literally the only 3 minutes of that game I watched. I saw that and went, yep, this is why your sport is stupid.
Right.
Can you imagine Andy Reid getting thrown out of the first 5 minutes of a Super Bowl? No, you know why? Because it's dumb. Because that's dumb.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We'll be right back.
Our iHeartRadio music.
Clear.
Presented by Capital One.
Is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 19th and 20th. Streaming live only on Hulu.
And you can be there.
For a weekend full of superstar performances, never-before-seen collaborations, and once-in-a-lifetime artist moments you'll have to see to believe. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. Get your tickets today at AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and more people are looking beyond pills and steroids and surgery. At QC Kinetics, they've been on the cutting edge of this medical revolution since 2018. Using regenerative medicine, they've helped tens of thousands of people get lasting joint pain relief using natural treatments that harness your body's own healing power. The truth is, regenerative medicine used to be an alternative treatment, but now it's mainstream, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader. They're
Did you see this
powerful cellular level
from Stone Sports Podcast that said he got stitches once at a vet
after the very source of it? Yes,
and felt like a mafia member. That's some John Wick. That's some John Wick shit right there.
Oh yeah, I mean if you get stitches at a vet, you are way more of a G than we are.
28333-9517.
What the hell is the bare knuckle fighting championship?
I have no idea. Is that the thing that
iHeartRadio's got you covered
Paige Van Zandt fought in?
With commercial-free weekends on
where she got her face mushed to the point she looked kind of like Cher.
Roll down the windows for road trips with summer playlists like Summer Classics. Or just escape into a podcast.
She started doing that she did that for maybe 2 fights and got absolutely rocked both times. And one of them, when they rose the other girl's hand, she looked exactly like Cher.
Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty,
because her face was just
guide you every
mushed.
step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bears famous
Did you see ESPN had an air guitar championship on the other night?
And then topped with bacon. Nice.
I had two separate people text me and say, could you not do
they
that?
Partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. And, so bare knuckle fighting championships. That's what BFKC meant in the cover more of that. I didn't even know that was a thing. But apparently,
it's also hard to watch. Because it's a bunch of dudes that look like me that are just wailing on each other. It's like the original days of UFC where you're like, oh, God, please stop that. Like, no, that's not supposed to turn that way.
Summertime is when things dial back a bit. And there's not a lot, unless you're covering all of the baseball games, you need to fill slot. And so you have ESPN doing the ESPN Ocho stuff. Apparently they were doing that again over the weekend. Was that right?
Yeah, there was. I saw an air guitar championship and a pillow fighting contest. And you know what's funny? I would still watch both of those things before I would ever watch a Major League Baseball game.
Uh-huh. So apparently the bare knuckle fighting is where retired boxers and retired MMA guys just fight without gloves just to stay relevant, according to Gambit Fan.
Indeed.
I mean, it just doesn't. I don't know. I mean, to me, MMA is about as brutal as I want to get. Like, I mean, I've seen fights like that on pay-per-view, and it's, as you said, Jeremy, it's painful to watch. It's painful to watch a guy get his face caved in.
Well,
boxing, MMA,
when it's someone else.
Do what?
I said when it's someone else. It's not that painful when you're the one actually throwing the punch. That never bothered me at all. Oh, that looked like it hurt. I guess you should have shut up, shouldn't you?
I don't know. There's when the violence gets too real, there's a line there.
That was a line that I was pretty notorious for saying. Was that little jokey joke worth it? A little chuckle? Was that good for you?
They apparently there was a big Fanatics thing over the weekend where they had a competition and Tom Brady won it all. It was like an event with like 20 different events within it, throwing baseballs and footballs and all that kind of stuff. And no, I didn't even know it was going on. I didn't even know Fanatics had a thing going on until the news broke about the Kevin Durant trade. And he was on the stage doing like a Q&A when the news came out. That's probably the most uncomfortable I think I've ever seen somebody.
I think what I'm going to quantify the last week in sports all down to a couple sentences here. In the last week, you had the College World Series, you had the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup. One of the best players in the NBA get traded. And for me, the biggest story in sports in the last week was John Cena's pipe bomb on CM Punk. So I'm going to take from your face you didn't see it.
I did not.
he went break the fourth wall up on the turnbuckle, like talking to guys that had been fired. It was awesome. And I despise John Cena, and it was awesome.
Interesting. Yeah, I just can't get into it. I've tried, and I can't get back into the wrestling thing.
Put it to this way: he said an obscenity on live television, and then he made a joke about it, like, "Oh, we got to shut it all down now because Johnny said a bad word," and I went, "It was so good."
See, maybe that's it. Maybe if they would go back to that, right? If you brought more of that Attitude Era back.
So in the YouTube chat, Stephen Tao said Cena copied CM Punk's pipe bomb. There was nothing original or close. That was what made it so good. At least to me, was that it was spot on what Punk had said years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They basically got him like exiled from the company.
Right.
And Cena went, "What are you going to do about it?" It was beautiful.
Okay. But was it off script?
Don't know. Don't care.
Or do you think it was, or was it all a work?
Don't know. Don't
that's
care.
The question. Don't know. Okay.
To be honest with you, that's when pro wrestling is at its best. When you have to ask that question, they won.
Mm-hmm.
We have a super chat to that extreme. It's from Red Sea, who Cena did a remix of Punk's infamous pipe bomb from way back when. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a work, and I don't care. If I had to rank sports right now, I swear to you, if I had to, honest to God, put time and effort into it, the WWE would be higher than I want to say it is. Like, I honest to God think it would be in my top 5. Right. Which is saying a lot because I don't ever watch it and I don't really care. I only see it on social media.
Mm-hmm. I don't. I can't get into it. I'm still lost without football, basically, because I'm trying to care about baseball, but my team sucks, and the Red Sox keep screwing me over. They traded Rafi Devers, and of course, Devers hits the 2-run home run the other day to beat us, which was just thanks for that. We knew it was coming. The only thing I got to pull for now is Cal until football starts. That's it. Just be following Cal Raleigh. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, it'll be time to get just a bit outside, and we'll get into some off-season grades, focusing on the NFC and AFC North on today's program. Stick with us.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Hot, but not as hot as it's going to be to our east. That's where the advisories are, but still pretty uncomfortable today. Cleared this morning. Mostly sunny this afternoon, low 90s. Tonight, mainly clear in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, we may pop an afternoon shower thunderstorm. Other than that, it's sunshine and clouds and highs in the low 90s. Wednesday, a few showers, thunderstorms in the afternoon, low 90s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stijic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and
Points for David.
Try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh sweet Frosty, gotta be
No,
Wendy's.
we can't say that, but quite good.
It's a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with permission.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $749.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
You've got an app for your music, but what about your favorite morning show, sports team, or live local news and weather?
See things start to change.
Yep, there's an app for all that too. iHeartRadio. Download the #1 app for radio, the free iHeartRadio app.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, we have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingles and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this summer's Parks Community Hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. A critical need exists today. Join us on June 27th at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Help save a life and donate blood, and make a direct impact in our community and support all of our community heroes. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
ESPN Asheville, broadcasting from the Ingles studio at Radio Ranch. Log on to ESPNAVL.com and make us your #1 preset on the iHeartRadio app. ESPN Asheville, #1 for sports coverage in the mountains.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy. Back on 92.9, 880, 1400 everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Jeremy, the owner of your football team, is spreading the wealth. He's investing in future properties. Woody Johnson, owner of the New York Jets, has agreed to buy a 43% stake in something called the Crystal Palace. I believe.
I'm pretty sure that's a strip club in Atlanta.
I was going to say, I believe Jeremy visited that on his bachelor night.
I think I spent about $4,000 on a girl whose name was a Spice. It's cinnamon or oregano. I don't remember. Your brain remembers things in a weird way.
Yeah. 43% stake in Crystal Palace, and I immediately went, "Is that like a restaurant?" I don't know what that is. Apparently, it's a Premier League soccer team. $254 million he poured into this Premier League club. But then that got me thinking, like, I mean, I know I don't follow the sport, but I can't believe there are as many soccer teams involved in the Premier League that I have never heard of before. I mean, we've heard of the big ones, right? Arsenal and Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur, we all know that because of the stadium. The NFL has used that stadium before. Leicester City, I know. Manchester United, obviously my football team's owner is involved in Man U. But then there's others like Nottingham Forest. I thought that was a Robin Hood movie.
That is where Winnie the Pooh lives.
Brighton and Hove Albion.
That is the attorney that defended me in my divorce.
Uh-huh. There is Brentford, which I've never heard of.
That's going to be a popular name for sorority girls to name their child between Aiden and Jaden.
AFC Bournemouth.
That was my ex-wife's nickname in college.
That's like a hoof and mouth disease, isn't it? Bournemouth diseases. There's like a whole clinical category on that.
I mean, I can't tell you that they were the same, but I can tell you it felt kind of similar. Both ended about the same way. Wasn't no fun, Billy. It wasn't no fun.
There weren't no fun. Good Lord. Crystal Palace.
Did you see that?
I got food poisoning from there once.
Did you see that Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a new job?
I did not.
So, obviously, he's been a driver.
It's not pronouncing racetrack names. I can tell you that much.
Oh, is he bad at that?
Did you? They were doing that. I was watching. They were doing a promo because they were in Mexico City. Not this past weekend, but weekend before last. They did a promo with Dale Jr. pulling up in the race car, and he goes, "Join us at the Autodromo Hermano Rodriguez." Wow. You did like 7 racisms and never.
I need somebody to cut what Tank just said. I promise I will only use it for nefarious reasons.
It's like, wow. That was he sounded like the kid that got kicked out of Spanish class for not taking it seriously enough.
I will say it's always dumbfounded me that Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a job where he is a broadcaster using his voice to say things.
Yes.
I love Dale Jr. I actually, through a friend of a friend, I actually know the guy. His voice grinds me in a way that I can't really explain. Because it's too high and too low at the same time, and I can't put my thumb on why it is that it bothers me so bad. I heard him commentating one of these races, and he's like, well, he's going down into turn 4. And then he like sunk down. I went, I hate both sides of that. I split it in the middle and just do that, and we're good. Anyway, roping this back in, he was the crew chief for his own car.
Yes.
Over the weekend. Kid's name is Connor Zilish. And they won. The best part of that was that Kyle Busch had poo-pooed it and said he basically doesn't have a crew chief because he's just a guy sitting on top of the hauler. Awesome. He went in and won.
Mm-hmm.
And being somebody that's not a big fan of Kyle Busch, it made me go, nana, nana, boo-boo, stick your head in doo-doo.
Kyle just needs to stop. It's not going well for him. Just don't speak.
Take it from Gwen Stefani. Don't speak.
Right. I can't remember the last time Kyle was actually vying for something. Because he's my favorite driver. So when the races roll around, like I'm always looking in to see where Kyle's at. I think he's running an average of 24th this year, so maybe cut down on the commentary. Okay, you can talk more when you win something.
And Tank, your clip has already been loaded into the Discord, so it shall live there forever.
Yay!
One would think that you would know that I was going to do that and would think about things before you said them.
Well, I mean,
and yet you do not.
Spice of life.
No, I think
life interesting.
No, I think oregano or cinnamon or whatever her name was. I believe that was the spice of life.
She'll be on her lunch break from the Crystal Palace at 4 a.m.
At least from 2 to 5 p.m. at the Crystal Palace in Newport, Tennessee. Let's go.
All right, off-season grades, Jeremy. We've got 4 shows together over the course of the week, minus the Womack Wednesday, where Chris Womack, the sports director from News 13, will be joining us, or joining me, anyhow. So we're going to focus on off-season grades. Today, talking about the Norths. There's been some news about the NFC North, Green Bay Packers, namely. You want to start there?
Yeah, I'm following you. You tell me where, and we'll roll with it.
All right. Well, let's start with the Green Bay Packers. No more Jair Alexander.
No, and I had heard they were going to try to work that out, but it never felt like they were going to be able to mend fences. So now I ask one very basic question of the Green Bay Packers. You do understand that you have to have multiple cornerbacks on the field at all times, right? I don't think they understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you $1 US right now if you can tell me the 2 starting corners for the Green Bay Packers right now.
Let's see. Eric Stokes is gone.
Yep. Eric
Jair's
Stokes
gone.
is now with the Las Vegas Raiders.
They just picked up that kid I don't like from Las Vegas. Hobbs.
What do you not like about Nate Hobbs? He's a good slot corner. By the way, that is one of the correct answers, just so you know.
I don't know who the other one would be, though.
Keyshawn Nixon, the kick returner.
Keyshawn Nixon, yeah.
And the slot corner is Javon Bullard from Georgia.
Okay,
Ooh, I think I know how you're going to get beat a whole mess of times in the fall. Knowing only the things that I just said, I think I know how you're going to get beat in the fall.
I mean, you'll get tortured.
That might be the worst secondary I've ever seen, and I like both of your safeties. It is rare that a team has two safeties that I like. One that I like a whole lot. Xavier McKinney is one of the best safeties in the league. You don't have anybody that can cover. This is the reason why when you drafted Matthew Golden, I went, cool, you finally broke that checkered history of we've never taken a receiver in the first round. The 1 year that you shouldn't have. It made no sense then. It makes no sense now. And as I'm looking at this team, I'm just going, okay, so you don't really have a pass rusher that I'm all that worried about. I like Rashawn Gary, but I'm in like, not love.
Mm-hmm.
What else
He's
on
not
that defense am I... What's even good?
Edgerrin Cooper.
I do love Edgerrin Cooper.
Edgerrin Cooper is a good inside linebacker.
So your high watermarks are an off-ball linebacker, one edge rusher, and a safety.
Yes.
I will give you all the time you want. Name me a time that I've ever been able to say that about a defense, that the defense was good.
Never.
You know why? Because that would be like your house. Your house is the cinder blocks fell out from underneath it, and you went and bought a Ferrari. Not probably where you should have spent your money.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you make your house level.
But look, at least we have 5 number 2 wide receivers.
That's the part that blows my mind. And now there are trade rumors all over Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. First of all, I would love to hear what you think you're going to get for Christian Watson, who is the great Sasquatch of the NFL. People tell me they've seen him, but every time I go to watch the game, he ain't there.
6th round pick. That's what I'm giving you.
That's
am I
about where I'm at.
Too low?
Nope. I think that's about where I'm at. It's just the roster doesn't make any sense. You just look at Green Bay and go, none of this makes any sense. And then you realize that they start with the Lions and the Commanders in a 4-day turn to start this season.
Mm-hmm.
Then things lean up a little bit. You got the Browns and the Cowboys. Then you go Bengals, Cardinals, at the Steelers, as at the Cardinals as well. The Panthers and the Eagles in a 5-game stretch. Are they better than any of the 5 teams I just said? Because I don't think they are.
No.
I don't think they are.
Well, I mean the Panthers. Maybe.
I don't think they're better than the Panthers. I really don't. Where are they better? Show it to me.
I mean, their offense is better, is it not? The running game is
be
better
shocked
with
if it's
Josh
not?
Jacobs.
Okay.
Jordan Love is better than Bryce Young, barely.
The offensive line is in theory, or the running game is in theory better until you look at the offensive line and go, that's not good. Rasheed Walker's not a left tackle in this league. You paid Aaron Banks like he's really, really good, and he's really, really not. You're counting on Jordan Morgan, who was not great and very limited work last year, to be the other guard. It's just the Green Bay Packers to me are they have a lot of dudes, but they don't have any dudes. How many players on this team can you look at and say, you're a top 8 player at your position? Is it at quarterback? No. Do they have a receiver that is even in the ballpark of that?
No.
No. Josh Jacobs, Zach Tom,
he's there.
Edgerrin Cooper, Xavier McKinney. A safety, an off-ball linebacker, a right tackle, and a running back. I could make the argument that is 3 of the 4 most meaningless positions in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I think your quarterback is average or worse. Your offensive line is average or worse. You have a lot of weapons, but none of them are ones. It looks like my dating record before I met Amy is just a slew of 3s. That I could argue are 2s. I could also argue are 4s.
Uh-huh.
And it's just a bunch of guys. This is what happens when you miss over and over and over again in the draft, and they just keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with what you're paying Jordan Love, you cannot afford to miss in the draft. You can't. And they do it over and over and over again. Lucas Van Ness, I'll admit, I got duped.
Yep.
Because I thought he was going to be a really good situational pass rusher. He hasn't been. He hasn't been. I'll tell you the other thing that really bothers me about Green Bay. Of the highest end players on the team, do you see a commonality between them? You didn't draft them. Xavier McKinney is one of the highest paid safeties in the league. Josh Jacobs is one of the highest paid running backs in the league. Zach Tom, I'm not even sure what position he plays at this point because he had to play everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that you drafted and cultivated are Tom and Edgerrin Cooper. Everything else you're having to throw.
Left him out. He's pretty good.
Who?
Elgton Jenkins.
He wasn't last year. Elgton Jenkins has gotten to that point where you've moved him so many times that I don't think he actually knows. He is a very good, serviceable player in a bunch of positions. I can't say he's elite.
Right.
I mean, he's good. But, I mean, they got a lot of guys that are good. The Green Bay Packers are the flex seal of the NFL. You remember that stupid thing, that product they would show that, look, our glass-bottom boat exploded, and now we can put this crap in it and not drown. Yep, that's the Green Bay Packers in a nutshell. Hey, nobody's going to beat us by 50, but a lot of them are going to beat us by 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I just look at the schedule and go, I don't think there's a team in the NFL that I am lower on by comparison of the rest of the industry than the Green Bay Packers because I don't know how you're supposed to win games. I don't see it.
I don't know how you're supposed to stop anybody.
I don't either. Your defense is not good, and you're going to ask Jordan Love to get into shootouts. And I think without me even having to tell you this, you know what that's going to lead to.
Right. I mean, it even worries me that you're going to New York. Like, I'm looking at their schedule, and they've got a game in New York, and most everybody should just be, okay, we're going to New York. We're going to win that game. But then I start thinking about Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors. If they get any competent quarterback play, those guys will tear that secondary up.
From the week before Thanksgiving to the end of the year, they go Minnesota, at Detroit, the Bears, at the Broncos, at the Bears, the Ravens, and the Vikings. If I told you they lost every single one of those games, would it surprise you?
No, sir.
It wouldn't me either. I, honest to God, think the Green Bay Packers could go 6-11 this year, and and not only would it not surprise me, it would surprise me if they were better than that.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how much hinged on Jair Alexander. I mean, we talked about how big of a deal that was. If he's not here, you've screwed yourself. Right, going through the draft and not getting a corner. But why did you do that when you knew things were on rocky ground with your one star in the secondary? And now you don't have him anymore.
Well, I mean, the thing I don't understand is you took Matthew Golden and you made this whole production about it. We were there. We watched it happen. You and I were live watching the closed-circuit television inside the draft room going, well, Green Bay's done a thing because the whole works has stopped here. And it was almost like they put on a production for their crowd. We got the draft here for the one and only time it'll ever be here, and we're going to take a receiver because that's what you want, and then we're going to do it again. They took another one in the third round. Do you realize how many of these guys that can't physically make this roster? I've never seen a team built like this in my life. They have Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks, Savion Williams, Bo Melton, Malik Heath, Mecole Hardman, Sam Brown Jr. That's 10 guys that, in theory, should be on an NFL roster. And you're telling me how great Mecole Hardman has been, which is kind of telling me he's going to be on this roster. You can't keep them all.
Right.
You cannot keep them all. Meanwhile, you have the thinnest offensive line in the NFL by a wide margin. You got 2 legit backups that belong on an NFL roster. That's it. Now, you've got 2 guys that can move around with Tom and Jenkins. So you can make this work. But it's a fatal flaw of how Green Bay does things. Because everything I just said about wide receiver, I could say the same thing about their defensive line. They've got like 12 guys that belong on an NFL roster. Meanwhile, there's 5 linebackers on the entire team. There are 4 legit corners on this. And when I say legit, I mean that's the position that they play. They're not a converted safety. They're not slot specific. They are corners. 2 of them play on the outside. What do you do if somebody gets hurt? Mm-hmm. It's just a dumb roster build at the end of the day. This is, to me, one of the worst regressions in a roster that I think I've ever seen. And I don't know how you're supposed to succeed this way.
And meanwhile, Vegas has the Green Bay Packers at, 9.5 wins? Probably?
Under. Oh, as a matter of fact, let me go back to our fantasy game time decisions days. Under.
I don't know that for a fact. I'm guessing.
I think you're right.
Probably where it's at.
I think you're right. I can tell you.
I think it would be dumb if it was any lower or higher than that. Because there was thought that this team will compete for a playoff spot.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Not now.
Not with that schedule.
Nope. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is the ESPN Asheville offseason grade for the Green Bay Packers is?
I'm going to call this one a full-on Alex Jones.
Not even a letter grade.
We got 14 receivers and no corners. We're going to put the receivers at corner because they can catch better. We're really innovative here in Green Bay.
Offseason grades in the NFC North continue after this.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Hot, but not as hot as it's going to be to our east. That's where the advisories are, but still pretty uncomfortable today. Cleared this morning. Mostly sunny this afternoon, low 90s. Tonight, mainly clear in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, we may pop an afternoon shower thunderstorm. Other than that, it's sunshine and clouds and highs in the low 90s. Wednesday, a few showers, thunderstorms in the afternoon, low 90s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stijic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole new floor inside your Macy's store. And right now, you'll find the latest summer styles all for under $25. With new arrivals every day, you never know what amazing deals you'll find. So don't wait. Find a location at Macy'sBackstage.com.
Since the car you want, at the price you want, knowing Nissan is here for you at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
For a limited time until supplies last, assembled with U.S. and imported parts.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Hardworking people need a hardworking candy bar. Packed with peanuts and filled with golden caramel, Payday is definitely working hard for you. So grab one now to power you through the day. Payday Peanut Caramel Bar. Get to it.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shop.
Did you know that Ingles sells a huge variety of organic items? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA choice and prime meat? Did you know that they have more local craft beer than any place else? Or that they have Energy Smart stores? Or that they professionally slice and package imported cheese from Europe? Did you know about their giant international aisle, local farm partnerships, curbside pickup, wine department? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
Looking for something fresh on Thursday nights? Join us at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue for WTF Thursdays. That's Women to the Front, a new live music series spotlighting incredible solo female artists. Every Thursday from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. in partnership with WTF Fest, we're bringing powerful performances and good vibes to the stage. It's free, it's fun, and it's all about supporting women in music. WTF Thursdays at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, downtown Asheville.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Pay. That's pay. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
We are the Sportsocracy, and we are live, coming to you from the Ingalls studio and the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and you can watch us live on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Once you're through to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and that's how you get into the chat. And off-season grades is what we're focusing on today. AFC North and the NFC North. Doing the NFC North first. Green Bay Packers have, they've aired. And they're about to find out that, stability does matter. Somebody said it in the YouTube comments. They were talking about the Carolina Panthers. But also, it's true. Stability matters to a good NFL team. And the Green Bay Packers have none of that. Now that Jair Alexander is out the door, it really shows how thin and I don't know if untalented is the right word, but uninspiring for sure.
Well, the thing that you have to the thing you have to remember is Eric Stokes nor Jair Alexander had been really good, and Jair Alexander can't stay on the field. I don't really care that you let him go. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that you didn't address the position, and we have a super chat that kind of steers into this very thought.
Give me just a second here.
I do love that Tank was dancing to the beat. I can't hear it, but
you can't hear it at oh, how about that? Can you hear it now?
No, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, sorry.
From Great North Sports that said Carolina this year is markedly better versus last year. Can't say the same thing about Green Bay. Jacobs is going to need to run 400 times to win games. That's the thing that bothers me about Green Bay is I don't have to like your players. Look, I'm wrong on players all the time. There are players that I don't see it on tape. It doesn't work. You're in the building with them. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that. What I can't figure out is your plan. Because defensively, I think you'd have to be out of your mind to think this team's going to be good. If you want to say they're passable, they wind up 16, 18, 20 in the league, okay, I disagree with you. But let's just say that's true. If you finish in that area, you've got to be elite offensively. They're not. At any position.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're really good at running back, but I don't love your offensive line. You got a lot of receivers, but you can only play 4 of them at a time. And I know what you're doing. You're propping up Jordan Love, which I do think you have to do to a point. The biggest prop for Jordan Love is going to be a defense that doesn't require him to score 30 points a week. I don't see a path that's not where you're at. So is your thought that you're going to try to grind teams out with Josh Jacobs and Marshawn Lloyd and the Savion Williams maybe playing some running back? Okay. That means you have a really expensive quarterback and a lot of capital wrapped up in wide receivers. And I just don't think you have anything. The best way I can explain this is it would I'm not going to say it that way. I went out the other night with some friends. We went to 2 different bars. One of them, we had 3 drinks, and it was $68. The other one we stayed at the entire night, and it was $98. I mean, you still got the same thing. The atmosphere might have been a little nice. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you're paying way more for the same thing. Green Bay has paid quite a premium at pass catcher and at running back, whether it was with salary cap dollars or draft picks. And I would make the argument that for what you spent, you should have more than that.
I would agree. And now Green Bay is, well, I mean, I feel like you're just going to find out. Like, it's all going to be out on display this year. And that big hope that you had that you were turning into that team that might make a jump into a playoff contender or well, I mean, you were already a playoff contender, right, at the back end of the NFC. But you were hoping to be more than that. Like, we're a year or 2 years away from being that 12-win team. And you're going to find out quickly, I believe, that you're not. Speaking of good teams in the NFC North, let's go to Detroit Lions.
We have a super chat about the Lions.
All right. Let's see if you can hear this one.
That one I heard. I will say, watching you dance to no music was really funny. It's from Sir Jimothy. He said the Lions win less than 10 games this year and won't win the NFC North. There was a time this offseason that I thought I was going to agree with you. And then I really kind of drilled down on the Lions and went, nope. Cannot agree with you on that one. The Lions were one of those teams that really benefited when I saw the schedule. And I realized that you got some favors. You start with a Packer team that I don't think is all that good. Mm-hmm. Then you get the Bears, who will not have had a whole lot of time to coalesce, shall we say. Then you go through a tough stretch. Ravens, Browns, at the Bengals, at the Chiefs. That's as tough as it gets. You do have a Commanders, Eagles back-to-back. But I feel like you got some breaks. The Lions have a spot in this schedule from November the 16th to December the 14th. They don't play a road game. They're home for a month.
Mm-hmm.
They get the Cowboys late. They get a Steelers team that I don't know how good they're going to be. I still think Detroit's the best team in the NFC North. Do you agree with me?
I do. I do agree with you. I don't understand where the hesitancy is coming here. I mean, I guess it's from the fact that Ben Johnson's no longer there, right? The fact that they lost both of their coordinators.
It's a lot of turn.
Remember when we were talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and they lost their coordinators? What's going to happen?
Well,
no, I get it. It didn't.
It was a train wreck for a year. It was a train wreck for a year. They were one of the worst coach teams in the league for a year. Philadelphia would honestly make me. Philadelphia would make me antsy if I was a Lions fan. Mm-hmm. Do you remember how bad that defense actually was? That's why they went and got Vic Fangio. Because they had Pat Matricia and I can't remember the other guy's name. The one that they basically fired in the middle of the year. That was a dumpster fire.
But do you put that in this category?
I don't. I'll tell you why. The guys that they promoted have worked within the confines of the system that they've already run.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. The two guys, and the names are eluding me right now. I know one of them was that the quarterback kid that played at Utah. I want to say his first name's Sean. I can't. I'm totally blanking on his name.
John Morton.
Brian Johnson. That was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles. The kid that played at Utah when it was just a disaster. And it didn't work. You look at what the Lions have done. These guys have worked within the confines of this system. The defensive coordinator's been on the staff for a million years. It's Kelvin Shepard. I mean, he played for the Lions. He's been in this Dan Campbell vacuum. I don't know that things are going to change that much. I know it's unsettling to have this much churn, but just look at the other teams in this division. How many open questions do you have about the other three teams in the NFC North? Packers, Lions, and Bears.
A billion?
And what are they? It's all about the roster. It's all about the talent and how these things are going to come together. Do you have the right quarterback? I think all three of those teams have at least kind of a question there. I don't have any of those problems with the Lions. I look at this Lions roster and go, that's a top 5 team in the league. Period. That's a top 5 roster in the NFL.
I agree.
You've still got Hank Fraley, who was really a catalyst of the running game.
Mm-hmm.
John Morton, I don't know if that was the right call. I don't know.
David Shaw's in the building.
David Shaw is in that building. Mark Brunell's in that building. Bruce Gradkowski's in that building.
Right,
Marquez Tuiasosopo.
Right, there are a lot of dudes who know football that are on this team. They're on this coaching staff. That I just don't think that. Yes, Aaron Glenn, great defensive coordinator. Yes, Ben Johnson, we love him. Great offensive coordinator. But the fact that they're gone doesn't mean that this is trash now, that this staff is just completely gutted. And I have all the faith in Dan Campbell in the world. And I look at the roster and go, I mean, you lost a couple of pieces, but nothing that I think is going to tank the season. I mean, Frank Ragnow retiring, that hurts.
But you had Tate Ratledge just ready marked to replace him.
Sure.
Because that's what good teams do.
Yeah.
That Brad Holmes, to me, is one of the smartest GMs in the league. And he follows that Philadelphia Eagle mindset of, I'm not drafting for this year. It is always so funny to me. And I am a draft guy. I overanalyze the draft probably more than anybody in this industry. It always makes me laugh when teams just dive headfirst into the draft and they wind up with 4 or 5 guys that come out of the top 100 and they go, well, all of our problems are fixed. Maybe 3 years from now they are. But asking 5 rookies to come in and play a high level of snaps in the rookie year, almost invariably going to backfire. Because 1 or 2 of those guys are not going to be ready. The Lions don't have that. The Bears do. The Vikings do. The Packers do. And I'm okay with all of it. Randy L. asked me in the YouTube chat, has Ratledge ever played center? I think he did in high school. I could be wrong on that. I don't have his profile pulled up in front of me. I remember a discussion about Ratledge and center when we were going through the process. And I just don't remember all of the logistics of it. But I look at his skill set and go, that's a guy that I would have said he could play center. It wouldn't shock me in the least. Is he going to be Frank Ragnow? No. But I think he can be good. And at the very least, he can be serviceable. I don't have a ton of questions about the Lions. Now, do I think they're behind Washington and behind Philadelphia? I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
And is that because you believe less in the system, less in the quarterback, less in the weapons?
I like Jaden Daniels better than Jalen Hurts or Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
There's way less churn with Washington. Washington upgraded in some spots, but that team's still going to look pretty similar to what they were last year. They're just better.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is going to be a fun one. We talk about the East. Philadelphia's going to be fun. Because I cannot wrap my head around that.
Back here? Like a massive step back?
We'll talk about, let's see, we'll do the East on Thursday. Colin sent us a super chat to Audible to the West. We do have to prep these things, but hit that super chat button. Oh, God, that button gets worse. Like, I hear that 2 or 3 times in a day, and it's just Lounge Lizard Louie. We're at the Sky Lounge. We got Miss Betty on the keys.
He's at the Crystal Palace.
No, that's not the kind of music they play at the Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace it's got a different kind of vibe. I can tell you, Colin, we'll do the West tomorrow. We just have all of the things set up for the North, so we will do the AFC and NFC West tomorrow. So we'll do the East Thursday, and then we'll do the South on Friday.
Okay.
But yeah, when we get to Philadelphia, I'm going to say some things that are not going to make a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia has a lot of turnover. The NFC is it's funny to me. Last year we went into the season with the AFC is just way better than the NFC. And then as the season bore itself out, that wasn't as true. The AFC was deeper, but the NFC was good at the top. I now value the NFC to be infinitely more interesting than the AFC.
The offseason grade for the Detroit Lions. What do you give them?
I give them a solid B.
A B?
I give them a B.
Okay.
I mean, look, if you look at what Detroit has done and the roster as it sits, where did they get significantly worse?
They didn't.
Exactly. They had a lot of churn. There were a lot of players that came on and off this roster, but in large part, it was bottom of the roster guys. I love the addition of DJ Reed. I know the system quite well that he's going into, and I think he's a nice replacement to Carlton Davis. I don't really see a lot of other guys that I go, oh, whatever are you going to do without Kendall Vildor?
Right.
What are you going to do without Fetty Melifonwu? Or I mean, Ragnow's not great. It's not great to lose a guy that's that good.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm not overly worried about it.
No, and I felt like they had a really good draft.
You know how I feel about Detroit. I think they always have good drafts.
Right. I mean, that would be that would be the thing that would push me from C+ to B-, because you really didn't do much other than, holding on to a few pieces. You said, DJ Reed, but then in the draft when they took Tyleik Williams and Tate Ratledge and Isaac Tesla, even Miles Frazier, like those are going to be impact pieces for you down the road.
Now, somebody asked how good their guards were. They have a lot of options. Mm-hmm. That is one of the things that I look for in a roster that's going to have a hole. Like, look, losing Frank Ragnow is going to be a hole. I don't care who you replace him with. He was one of the 3 or 4 best centers in the league. Mm. But you remember how high I was on Christian Mahogany. I thought he was a dog. And between him and Ratledge and Miles Frazier, I think in Graham Glasgow, you're just going to figure it out. I can't tell you exactly what it's going to look like. I'll also tell you this. Isaac Tesla is going to be really good for this team. Nobody will talk about him. That was the guy that the Lions lost their minds when he was there. And he made it on this team.
He's the new Khalif Raymond. He's the new guy that will have his name said in 2 big plays every week that you never think is coming.
Isaac Tesla, and this is just me going off the way the roster is constructed. I don't know exactly how they're planning on using him. I think they're going to put him on the outside. He has not done that a lot. He was a big slot at Arkansas. But he has over-the-top capability to stretch teams out. And you add that in with Gibbs and Montgomery, I think the defense will be better. I don't know that it's going to be great. I don't think I see losing Aaron Glenn as the big negative that a lot of other people do. And look, I think he's a great coach. And he's doing good stuff with the Jets from what I can tell. But, I mean, do I think there's a huge X's and O's loss from Aaron Glenn to Kelvin Shepard? Not really.
And a lot does hinge on those young corners. Rakestraw and Arnold are going to have to step up big in year 2. But you brought in DJ Reed for a little veteran support. I like it. I think Detroit is top of the division again, and I really don't think it's close.
I do want to. Randy L said something in the YouTube chat that I want to hit on. They had kind of a weird draft, trading 3 picks to go up and get Tesla. That's how Brad Holmes operates. He identifies certain guys and goes, this is where we are comfortable taking them. I can tell you a little inside baseball on Isaac Tesla. Where did they end up? I can't remember what pick they took him at. Was it 70? I think he was 69 or 70. I can't remember which one.
70.
They had called for 15 solid picks trying to get to Isaac Tesla. They were ready to take him in the 2nd round. That's how good they think he is, and I'm not going to lie to you, I don't disagree with him. Dank, you can attest to this. How many times did I say his name during the process?
A bunch.
I thought he was going to be an early day 3 guy. Oh, I love him. Yeah. I watched him at the Senior Bowl like I was I can't say what I wanted to say right there, but it was like watching just the way the kid moves. I'm looking at him going, if you'd played at LSU, we'd be talking about you way higher in this class.
Great North Sports says he'll take the Lions under.
What are they at, 10.5?
Probably.
Yeah, 10.5. I'm not going to bet it. That's a don't touch for me. but I think they'll be right there. I think that's a 10-7, 11-6, 12-5 team. I would be shocked if they won less than 10 games, even with as difficult as the schedule is.
Agreed. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville off-season grades for the NFC North. We'll talk some Minnesota Vikings when we come back.
Presented by Capital One
is coming back to Las Vegas.
You're clear.
September
Thank
19th to 20th. Streaming live only on Hulu.
And you can be there.
For a weekend full of superstar performances, never-before-seen collaborations, and once-in-a-lifetime artist moments you'll have to see to believe. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. Get your tickets today at AXS.com.
The Iranian Revolutionary Guard has begun attacks on the Qatar Air Force Base, U.S. Air Force Base.
Nissan has been assembling award-winning
I don't know what
vehicles
that
for
means.
you right here in America. And this
Iran is attacking the U.S.
and up affordable
in Qatar.
In Qatar.
Tariffs.
Yes.
We've lowered MSRP on our
10,000 military members stationed in that base.
Good luck with that.
At the price you want, knowing Nissan
I don't think
is
that's
here
going
for
to go the way you want
at
it to.
Nissan
Probably not.
For a limited time until supplies last, assembled with U.S. and imported parts.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone, come back! It's my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life, come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
From iHeart Podcast. Before social media, before cable news, there was Alan Berg.
He was the first and the original shock jock.
That scratchy, irreverent kind of way of talking to people and telling them that you're an idiot and I'm going to hang up on you.
This is Live Wire, the loud life and shocking murder of Alan Berg.
And he pointed to the Denver phone book and said, well, there are probably 2 million suspects.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Live Wire, and listen now.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, we have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingles and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Looking for something fresh on Thursday nights? Join us at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue for WTF Thursdays. That's Women to the Front, a new live music series spotlighting incredible solo female artists. Every Thursday from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. in partnership with WTF Fest, we're bringing powerful performances and good vibes to the stage. It's free, it's fun, and it's all about supporting women in music. WTF Thursdays at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue, downtown Asheville.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this summer's Parks Community Hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. A critical need exists today. Join us on June 27th at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, help save a life and donate blood, and make a direct impact in our community and support all of our community heroes. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
The 2025 season for the Minnesota Vikings is going to hinge a whole lot on J.J. McCarthy. The number one question of the offseason for me, the biggest move, the hardest decision was the Minnesota Vikings and Sam Darnold. And I still think they got it wrong.
I do too.
I feel like you should have paid Sam Darnold. You can't stare a guy in the face that did what he did last year. How many games they win last year? 14?
14.
They won 14 games last year with Sam Darnold. And they went, we're good. J.J. McCarthy now takes over, and what is it going to look like?
Oh, by the way, just simply since we're talking about future NFL MVP Sam Darnold, did I tell you about the report I got from a beat writer from Seattle?
What is that?
He's better than we thought he was.
Ooh,
he's better than we thought he was. Just you take that information, you put it in your pocket, you do whatever you want to with it. Just, somebody that's on site there told me point blank, he's better than I thought he was.
J.J. McCarthy as the number one option. It was said in the chat earlier that they'd feel a lot better about the Minnesota Vikings if Sam Howell were starting. I don't know that I'd go that far. I have seen Sam Howell start, and he's never showed it to me. Not at this level.
I don't need him. You and I look at this differently. I don't. I work through the scouting things. I have to project what guys are going to do. I can't go with I haven't seen it, because I could make that argument for every rookie that comes in and basically any player that hasn't played for a significant period of time. Here's what I don't understand, and I still don't understand it. How exactly do you think this is going to work? If Minnesota thinks they're going to be a really good running team, and they're going to use J.J. McCarthy's legs, and they're going to play really good defense, and they're going to use Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison over the top, and that's how they're going to take safeties out of the box, okay, I can't tell you that won't work. Here's the thing I don't understand. If that's your objective, and that's your goal, why did you not boost it in any discernible way? So you got injury-prone Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, who I do like, and I'm telling you, Jordan Mason will be on every fantasy football team I draft this year.
Right.
Aaron Jones probably on a lot of them. But that's all you've got. You've got a line that I think is good. Could be really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as down on Minnesota as I was. The more I've gone down the rabbit hole, I think this is going to be an elite defense. I know the corners aren't great. The front seven's so good that I don't really care. They're better than Green Bay, secondary-wise, not by a ton. I do like having Byron Murphy. Well, I like Mekhi Blackman. Isaiah Rodgers is he's an anomaly to me.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to smart people who love Isaiah Rodgers. I don't necessarily see it as much as some of. I can't agree with a lot of the things I'm told about Isaiah Rodgers, but I hear it from really smart people. It took me no less than 13 seconds to figure out how to get those words out of my mouth in a way that made sense to anybody other than me. I've been off for a long time.
Yeah,
words are hard.
In a passing league, I can't get down with not having a corner.
Well, they have a corner. They have an elite.
I
think they have an elite corner. He's just a slot corner. But he is a slot corner.
Elite?
No, I was talking about Byron Murphy.
Oh, he's not elite.
Byron Murphy's a top 10 corner in this league.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Byron Murphy's real good. I like Mekhi Blackman personally. I'm going to ask you a question about Minnesota, and I just want to see if your thought process was the same as mine.
Mm-hmm.
List the pass rushers for the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, you got Grenard.
Mm-hmm.
Gankle.
Mm-hmm.
Van
Ginkel.
Is that it?
Did you even remember Dallas Turner was on this team?
No.
I completely forgot he was on this team. If he turns into what he could be as just a situational pass rusher, that front seven could be evil.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives me hope. I just don't know that J.J. McCarthy can beat good quarterbacks. Not in year one. I feel like you've set him up in a way to fail.
Of course you have.
Because you had Sam Darnold last year, and it ended badly. And now I feel like Minnesota Viking fans are just in their head going, we're good. We replace Sam. JJ's better than Sam. I got news for you. There is zero possibility that JJ McCarthy will be a better quarterback in 2025 than Sam Darnold was in 2024. Mm-hmm. That is in no way a shot at JJ McCarthy. It's just a fact.
Yes. You had a quarterback that won you 14 games. You pretty much kept the band together. Right? Like, this is not a team that is the roster is not vastly worse than it was last year. You didn't lose any key, cornerstone pieces off of this team. Of course, the thought is going to be, well, I mean, JJ just comes in here and away we go. We're still a contender. And if JJ comes in here and you're a 9-win, 8-win pedestrian kind of a team, I don't see how that's a good thing. I don't see how that's a positive note. You put him in a no-win situation. If he doesn't win 14 games, I feel like it's a disappointment for a lot of fans.
I would agree with that.
Because you added pieces. Right? You added Jordan Mason, who's the handcuff, possible starting running back should something happen to 48-year-old Aaron Jones. You got the two centerpieces of an offensive line from the Indianapolis Colts and Ryan Kelly and Will Freeze. Is it Will Freeze or Will Fries?
Will Freeze.
I heard somebody call him Will Fries the other day.
Well, it's spelled Fries.
I don't think that's how you say that. I don't think you can order him on the value menu.
No. Randy L had a good question. Don't they just kind of need JJ to not be bad to win 9 or 10 games? Yes.
Yes.
To get to that next level, and that's kind of where I've been this whole time with McCarthy. It would be one thing if this team went 7-10 last year. Like if you went 7-10, this is the year that you're taking the step forward. I could see Minnesota fans being happy at 9-8 or 10-7. You go into the playoffs, you get beat by whether it's Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts or Jared Goff. It doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. You could sell that. You're taking a team that went 14-3, disappointed in the playoffs. Your ceiling is getting to where you were last year. I don't think you can get to 14-3, but getting to the playoffs and getting beaten early is probably your ceiling. That's not going to feel like a progression. Mm-mm. And that's what bothers me. By the way, I'm going to, and I don't have the team, but I know it's been at least 8 years. Minnesota is going to set a record in the NFL. They will be the first team in at least 8 years to do what?
Oh, I don't know.
Return 0 seconds in the building of a quarterback that was on the team last year. They're all gone.
Ah, I got you.
Because Sam's gone, Daniel Jones is gone.
Right.
McCarthy was on IR, so he doesn't count. Their quarterback room from last year has completely turned over. Mm-hmm. And that bothers me. That bothers me because now you got Sam Howell backing up J.J. McCarthy. Sam Howell has no interest in tutoring J.J. McCarthy in any way. Sam still thinks he's a starter, and I tend to agree with him.
I was going to say, can he? He's in competition mode. He's not that veteran.
No, Sam Howell wants to beat J.J. McCarthy out. And it does surprise me sometimes how often, every time Minnesota comes up, we'll get 10 people in our chat that go, I would like Minnesota better with Sam Howell. Mm-hmm. And for this year, I don't disagree with you. I do not disagree with you. That's not saying Sam Howell's a better quarterback than McCarthy. I think he would be in 25. But you look at the upgrades to the offensive line, to the defensive line, Minnesota has a nice, safe floor. I just don't know how high the ceiling is.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, NFC North offseason grade for the Minnesota Vikings is?
I would say it's a B+, which is shocking considering how bad I hate what they did at quarterback. But between Will Freeze and Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen, that team added a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
And they really fortified a strength. I think the defense is one of the best 5 in the NFL. Didn't understand the first-round pick, though. Between that and the quarterback, that's enough. That pushes you down a whole letter grade. You took a third-round pick in the first round.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Chicago Bears after the break.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
Forecast.
Hot, but not as hot as it's going to be to our east. That's where the advisories are, but still pretty uncomfortable today. Cleared this morning. Mostly sunny this afternoon, low 90s. Tonight, mainly clear in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, we may pop an afternoon shower thunderstorm. Other than that, it's sunshine and clouds and highs in the low 90s. Wednesday, a few showers, thunderstorms in the afternoon, low 90s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Appalachian Sitework Ready Mix Division.
Need concrete for your next project? Well, Appalachian Sitework has you covered. From cast-in-place retaining walls to patios and slabs, their Ready Mix Division delivers the mix you need when you need it. Give them a call today at 828-734-1115.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with permission.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
You've got an app for your music, but what about your favorite morning show, sports team, or live local news and weather?
See things start to change.
Yep, there's an app for all that too. iHeartRadio. Download the #1 app for radio, the free iHeartRadio app.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, coming to you live on a Monday afternoon. Man, it has been brutal hot the last few days. We went to Melissa Hitch's wedding Melissa level.
I'm gonna have to get used to. I'm gonna have to get used to that.
Right. Melissa and Kevin got married over the weekend over at Joe Lasher's place, the Twin Willows out in Mars Hill.
First of all, it's
beautiful
place to
have
out
a
there.
wedding. Absolutely. Definitely look into that if you have a big event coming up.
Or just go pick up some of his food.
The
food's
chicken and
outrageous.
donuts on a stick.
Oh yeah, keto didn't survive the weekend. The appetizers are a fried piece of chicken with a glazed donut. Well, damn it, Joe. That's not even kind of, it doesn't even kind of work for any of the things I'm doing. Well, do you want one? Yes, I want 7 of them.
Yes, I think between Jeremy and I, we had about 25 of those things.
And then you had these just wonderful velvety cupcakes. You want one of those? You already know the answer to that. Give me 2.
Yes.
I'm going to gain every pound back in one event, and I think I did.
It was a great wedding, beautiful venue. It was a beautiful day, but good Lord, it was 80 million degrees.
We went out after the wedding, and then I went and played golf at Furman yesterday, which don't know if you checked the temperature down the mountain, but it was 7 degrees hotter.
Yes.
It was 95 degrees at one point.
So brutal.
And I had been at a wedding the night before. You can do your own math on that. Suffice to say, by the end of yesterday, wasn't kicking on all cylinders.
Currently 86 degrees outside of the Ingles studio.
I don't know what it is outside. Outside doesn't exist to me. I leave for the beach on Saturday. That'll probably be the next time I walk outside. Because it's disrespectful out there. You walk outside and it's like the sun in that angry sun in Mario's just trying to punch you in the face.
Yep. That is kind of what it feels like. It is the offseason, continuing with off-season grades in the NFC North. Jeremy Green, the Chicago Bears. Where do they rank on the most interesting teams for you going into 2025?
Define interesting.
I mean, like, this could go very well, or this could be not what you wanted. I don't think it's got the opportunity to be just completely terrible.
Oh, it certainly does.
I feel like there is a lot of hope, right? There's a lot of pressure being put on Ben Johnson coming in to take over the Chicago Bears. And Caleb Williams is probably, I mean, I would say he's probably top 5 most polarizing players in 2025.
I would agree with that. I find it funny that the Chicago Bears, the brain trust, actually thinks the problem with Caleb Williams was that he didn't have enough time. If you watched him, you'll know that that's not the case. In certain instances, he had too much time.
Mm-hmm.
The only hope to me for the Bears is that Ben Johnson is the quarterback savant that we think he is. Caleb Williams has a problem. And I noticed it when he was at USC. I was never a fan. I always thought he was grossly overrated. I still think he's grossly overrated. The issue I had with him was that I'm going to take a line that you said earlier. You're talking about J.J. McCarthy and how you couldn't trust it because you've never seen it.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams has absolutely no ability to see a throw before it's made. He needs to see the guy open before he's willing to pull the trigger. That doesn't work in the NFL. You're going to have to change his mindset because he is so worried about turning the ball over that he overthinks everything. It's a glorified version of the yips. You know, the old Chuck Knobloch problem where the second baseman all of a sudden can't throw it to the first baseman or the catcher can't get it back to the pitcher. He kind of has that same thing of he's been the most talented player on every field he's ever played on. He never really developed into a quarterback. I mean, you know, I beat this drum to death 2 years ago when we were going through that draft process.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't really think you actually fixed anything. All right, so he's got some weapons. I like Loveland. I think Rome Odunze will be better this year. Keenan Allen didn't really fit this, so I'm not shocked that they didn't bring him back. I just still look at the Bears and go, I think the roster's good, but I thought the roster was good a year ago and you went 5-12. Did you fix Caleb Williams? I don't really care about the 5 guys that are lining up on the offensive line. Yes, it's a very respectable group. You may have on paper the best offensive line in the NFL. But I don't know that actually fixed your problem.
Because your problem is your quarterback. I mean, he was sacked, 68 times last year? And that's all the focus has been on. He was sacked 68 times. So we got to overhaul the offensive line. And they did that. I mean, you brought in Joe Thuney, Jonah Jackson in the trade with the Rams, Drew Dahlman at center. The middle of the line, real good. Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright on the edges or on the ends. That's very formidable. My question is, what is Caleb going to do with it? Is he going to get the most out of this? Is Ben going to be able to teach him how to read the routes? Right? He's got a lot of guys that can make plays. DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. I mean, I would say even Olamide Zaccheaus. I mean, he has shown to be a useful fourth weapon since he's been in the league. But your running back slot is pretty weak. I'm a DeAndre Swift fan, but he's not elite. And I'm not sure what Roschon Johnson is. I just don't know that you can put it all together. Right, are you going to be winning a lot of 17-14 kind of games? Is that what you're hinging on?
I do think the defense will be good. I really do think the defense will be good.
I don't see much way around it. I feel like that is an elite secondary. The front line with Montez Sweat
I can't go elite secondary, but I think they're fine. I'm going to ask you a question. And I did not forewarn you that I was going to ask you this.
Okay.
Name me a quarterback other than Caleb Williams that was sacked a lot last year.
Oh.
Somebody who really had true, honest-to-God offensive line problems.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow is a pretty good one. Thought you were going to say C.J. Stroud, so you had to give me just a second.
That was it.
Yeah. C.J. Stroud was my most obvious one.
Right.
Joe Burrow last year was sacked, it was a good number of times, 48 times. They had an offensive line problem, right?
Yes.
How long did Joe Burrow, all plays last year, time to throw, how long did he have? League average is right under 3 seconds.
2.6.
2.65.
Ooh.
What'd Caleb Williams have?
2.7.
3.03.
Wow.
It was one of the highest in the league.
Wow.
It was one of the highest in the league. I'll tell you, this might be the craziest. His time to throw under pressure was 4.15 seconds, and it was the worst thing he did by a mile. The more time you gave him, the worse he was. Mm-hmm. The protection wasn't the problem, and if you watch the games, it was pretty obvious. He was the problem. He made the offensive line look worse than it was. So now I can't wait for a year from now when Caleb Williams gets sacked 58 times behind a line that's about as good as you could actually pay for. Okay, now what is your excuse? What's your excuse now?
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly how I see this going with the Bears. I think Ben is a brilliant guy. He also got a lot out of Jared Goff that I had not seen from Jared Goff that I didn't really know that he had in him, to be honest with you. I'm not sure that Caleb Williams is a fit for Ben Johnson, and I've had this fear since the minute he took the job. It was the first thing I told you when it came down that Ben was taking this job.
So your offseason grade for the Bears is what?
It's a C.
It's a C.
It's a C. You fixed a problem that you really didn't have. And you did a great job. You had a bunch of money. You've souped up the offensive line. You still don't have a running back, which blows my mind. You're a DeAndre Swift guy. I'm whatever the opposite of that is. Because I'm not.
You're the Nick Chubb guy.
I have long thought he is the most overrated prospect I've ever seen at running back. I would have loved Nick Chubb. I don't liked him better in Chicago than I like him in Houston. But I don't see how all of this is going to – I don't see how it's all going to work with Caleb. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Caleb takes this huge step forward, and I'll be honest with you. If he does, I'm going to credit Ben Johnson with it.
Of course.
Because I haven't seen it out of him. I see the same problem over and over again, and all you did, really, now you put it under a microscope. Because now you can't blame the offensive line. That might be the best 1 to 5. I don't love the left tackle, but I like him. I'm probably higher on him than most. I think Braxton Jones is a good left tackle. I don't think he's a great one. Everything else, you're about as good as we have in this league. Darnell Wright's a little overrated, but not crazy. And he's still young.
Yeah.
Now you got the weapons, you got the line.
My problem with the Bears is I think they had an A offseason. I mean, for what you added on the offensive line, the rebuild that you had, I thought you had a really good draft. And
really good?
But I don't know. I don't. Well, I mean, I know we talked about them not drafting a running back, and there were what was it the Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland.
I don't even care. The more the time has passed, I don't even care. I had them so close that if you liked one better than the other, I get it.
Right.
And playing Cole Kmet and Tyler Warren together, upon further examination, probably would not have ended as well as you wanted it to.
Right.
But I don't like Luther Burden.
The more I looked at it, the more I got used to, okay, I mean, I can see what you did here. I can see what you were going for. Ozzie Trapilo adding depth to the offensive line. I think he filled a lot of needs. And to me, it was a great offseason. But without the development of your quarterback, I don't know if it's going to translate into wins. And if it doesn't, I feel like this is going to be a big, black mark on the start of the Ben Johnson era.
Here's my problem with the Bears. You had 4 picks in the top 62. You came out of it with Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, Ozzie Trapillo, and Shamar Turner. Look at what the Dallas Cowboys got with 3 picks in the top 75, and I hated their first pick. And I like what they did better than what Chicago did. Because I would have taken Donovan Ezraku over Savon Ravel over every player they took in the second round, and wouldn't have thought about it for a tenth of a second.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Take a break. Come back for the top of the hour. It will be time to give the offseason grades for the AFC North next.
ESPN Asheville.
And you're clear.
Mountain weather forecast.
Hot, but not as hot as it's going to be to our east. That's where the advisories are, but still pretty uncomfortable today. Cleared this morning. Mostly sunny this afternoon, low 90s. Tonight, mainly clear in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, we may pop an afternoon shower thunderstorm. Other than that, it's sunshine and clouds and highs in the low 90s. Wednesday, a few showers, thunderstorms in the afternoon, low 90s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole new floor inside your Macy's store. And right now, you'll find the latest summer styles all for under $25. With new arrivals every day, you never know what amazing deals you'll find. So don't wait. Find a location at Macy'sBackstage.com.
knowing Nissan is here for you at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
For a limited time until supplies last, assembled with U.S. and imported parts.
Grig Electric is now hiring. Excellent pay, competitive benefits, year-end bonuses, and more. Company vehicles issued for licensed electricians. Go to grigelectric.com or call 828-232-0021 to join the team at Grig Electric, serving WNC since 1976.
Some days feel heavier than others, especially after a storm like Helene. If you're still feeling the weight of trying to rebuild, you're not alone. Call the Hope for NC helpline and talk to someone who's ready to listen and offer support. Visit hope4nc.org for free confidential 24/7 support. That's hopefornc.org.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we're Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, wanna go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a frog.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls,
See you later, Dad.
all the ingredients for family.
Now is the time for Braves country to cheer a little louder as the 2025 Atlanta Braves start chopping their way back.
Fly ball to deep right, way back and gone. Home run. So we shot down all their missiles.
I was about to tell you the same thing.
Parks Promise today.
No injuries.
Yeah, you should be gooder at this.
For the Braves, Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall, with
I wish we had like a live camera inside the Situation Room right now.
Home looking to sell quickly or exploring investment opportunities.
Donald Trump just gloating.
Best deal possible.
I guarantee you somebody's going to go,
Clarissa Marshall
they
with
have
ESPN
fought
Realty.
and now they will foe.
6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire than cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things!
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. God bless the USA. That's all I got to say. Welcome into the program here. Final hour of the Monday edition of the Sportsocracy. Coming to you live from the Ingalls studio and the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And you can follow us, see us live on the YouTubes. And when you follow us on the YouTube, you can hear all of the discussions in the commercial break about other things going on around the world.
Yeah, you can also hear me chewing on a bag of almonds like I'm chewing on a bag of wood screws, too. Well, that's probably not the greatest sales pitch I've ever given, but it is true.
Right. It's not a whole lot of fun.
Almonds are a great keto tasty snack.
Yes, indeed. News Radio 570 WWNC, your source for the latest breaking news. Today there have been developments in the U.S.-Iran relations or lack thereof. But tune in to 570 WWNC for all of your Iran updates that you need. Iran shot some missiles at our bases in Qatar and Iraq, and we shot them all down. No injuries. So thank God for that. And again, God bless the USA. We have a super chat, by the way. Coming from Red Sea, says as long as they don't touch the boats, they'll be safe from being forcefully Alt F4. What does that mean?
That closes the window that you're. If you hit Alt F4, it will close the window that's up on your. Forcibly shot down is basically what he's saying.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Look, Iran just channeled their inner Angel Reese. They grabbed a rebound and missed. A bunch. A bunch.
Anyhow. Again,
I still maintain the funniest line I've ever that I've heard in the last month.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Reese, the basketball player that you could lock in the gym all weekend by herself. She'd have 10,000 rebounds and 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
It's a high-level troll. We have another super chat, too, that we had I had actually saved for this particular segment right here. It's from Colin. He was referring to when we were talking about the Eagles earlier in the show, setting that up for Thursday. He said, so I've seen this story before with the Eagles. They go to the Super Bowl with a great record. Look at the next year after the Super Bowl. Year of the Super Bowl in 2022, they went 14-3. They were 11-6 the next year. Tell me I'm wrong. I can't tell you you're wrong, and on Thursday, I'm going to tell you why that bothers me. I still think the roster is really good. But I do have a hang-up with Philadelphia that they're really interesting to me because they've had so much turnover.
Yeah.
But that is a good point from Colin.
Okay. All right. East's coming up on Thursday. Tomorrow's program, we will talk about the West divisions, AFC and NFC. Today, the Norths, which means obviously Friday will be the Souths. AFC North, let's stay in the state with the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do we make? What do we make of the Pittsburgh Steelers this year? Because let's see, who was it that said in the YouTube chat? Somebody said something to the effect of, "If it weren't for Mike Tomlin, I'd feel really horrible about this upcoming season."
But do you feel any better because of him? Like, honestly, do you think he's going to lead them on some charge to 11-6 and win this division? Because I don't. Let me ask you a very simple question about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Name me the position they are better at right now than they were a year ago.
Quarterback.
Are they, though?
Aaron Rodgers is better than Russell Wilson. You think that's a question?
I do.
Okay.
You also have to remember I just watched 17 games of this guy quarterbacking my team, and I can tell you, the back of his jersey says Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is DED. This is like Adam Rodgers that worked in accounting. Because that guy you're expecting, I got news for you. He ain't showing up. If you think Aaron Rodgers circa 2020 is what the Pittsburgh Steelers just got, I got a bridge to sell you. Aaron Rodgers can't even figure out if he's married or not. Like that's the Looney Tune that you just plugged into your team. I just had to do this, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I am not gonna lie. As a Jets fan, I am sitting back. It's almost like when you pull a practical joke on somebody, And you, like, take all the shells out of the refrigerator, and you know the minute that they open the door that all the milk and eggs are going to fall on their feet, and you just sit back like, wait for it. They're going to see it in a minute. That's where I'm at with Pittsburgh. Yeah, you got a quarterback, and he does look strikingly like that MVP that played for the Green Bay Packers years ago. He's not. He's not. And he can have all the little workout sessions with DK Metcalf that he wants. I know how this is going to go because I've already witnessed it. Do you think this is a team that is good at the tackle spots with Broderick Jones and Troy Fautano?
Yeah.
I think they're passable.
They probably. Yeah.
Passable. Fautano played 55 snaps last year. Now he's sliding into a starting spot. Broderick Jones played every game at right tackle and was an absolute turnstile. Now you're putting him over on the left. Ooh, let me, as I have bared witness to this, let me tell you what you're getting ready to see. Blitz the bejesus out of him. Every single play, they're going to send 5, 6, sometimes 7. Because they know he can't move. Aaron Rodgers right now would lose in a foot race to me by a second in a 40-yard dash. That's how slow he is after the Achilles. And everybody knows it. Now, look to the defense. Do you feel really good about that defense? I think they're fine. But do you think it's winning you games?
I mean, I feel like that front seven is going to be pretty stout.
I agree with you. And the back half is not. You're counting on Darius Slade, the guy that Philadelphia couldn't wait to get off the field so they could have Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell and Isaiah Rodgers out there. That's who you're counting on to fix your secondary. Good luck with that. Oh, by the way, have you taken a gander at that schedule lately? It's evil. It's evil. From November the 9th, they go at the Chargers, Bengals, at the Bears, Bills, at the Ravens, Dolphins, at the Lions, at the Browns, and the Ravens. Do you hear how many losses there actually are in that?
That's a whole
with you with a 41-year-old quarterback who is going to slowly but surely not be as healthy as he keeps getting hit?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how this is supposed to work. And I guess it really depends on what is working for you.
Working is the same old. I mean, it's run-of-the-mill, middle-of-the-road, mediocre Pittsburgh Steelers football. The thing that we've been treated to since Ben Roethlisberger left. That's your ceiling and your floor every year.
We have a super chat that steers into that very thought. It's from Colin, who said this is nothing new with the Steelers. Besides the quarterback, they're going 10-7 or worse. I'll go one step further. They're going 10-7 or 9-8.
Mm-hmm.
It's what this team's going to do. It's what they do every single year. Now, Randy asked a question, does Rodgers still have an arm good enough to push it down the field to DK? Arm? Yes. Feet? No. I'm telling you, I've watched it for a full year. Every defensive coordinator the Jets played against, they knew the game plan from the jump. All you have to do is send more than they have. Because he can't move. At this point, he looks 10 years older than Tom Brady did at the end because he cannot elude anything. Mm-hmm. And so DK's over-the-top ability, you're not really going to see it all that much. You're just not. That's not how this is going to go.
This is just a lot of short, intermediate passes, dink and dunk.
That's what you had with the Jets last year. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really know where Pittsburgh is better than the Jets. Offensive line, I'll say Pittsburgh is fractionally better, but not much.
Mm-hmm.
And you go by position, it's really close.
Well, I mean, it's not close at running back.
I would take Breece Hall over anything Pittsburgh has.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. New York is vastly superior.
Hell, I'll go one step further. I'm not sure I wouldn't take Braylon Allen over anything that they have.
Over Caleb Johnson?
I mean, they're the same guy.
I know you really like him. So.
I do like Caleb Johnson a lot. Right. What was so obvious last year, especially early, it got a little bit better when the Jets added Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers couldn't push it down the field. Mm-hmm. This team had no big plays. I mean, I think the stat I saw was they only had 6 plays the entire year that went more than 40 yards. That's mind-boggling. I mean, Aaron Rodgers played a full NFL game where he completed 22 passes and not one of them went more than 15 yards. Mm-hmm. Not in the air. Not one of them gained more than 15 yards. That's almost hard to comprehend. But it happened. I mean, you just look at who they beat. And they had one weird game with the Texans that still doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That was on Halloween. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. Garrett Wilson had one of the craziest catches I've ever seen, and I still don't understand how the Jets won that game. Other than that, you beat New England, you beat Tennessee, you beat Miami, and you beat Jacksonville. Oh, and by the way, Aaron Rodgers wasn't good in 2 of those 4 games. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is your savior. Okay. Sure, have fun with that. Your defense is fine. I don't really like the way the offense lines up. You look like an 8-9, 9-8 team to me. I'll give Tomlin credit. Say you're going to go 9-8, and I don't think you make the playoffs in the AFC at 9-8.
Yeah. Off-season grade for Pittsburgh.
D.
A D.
What did you like? I mean, in all honesty, what's the move that you go, yeah, this is the one that really pumps them up? The 85-year-old geriatric quarterback that basically wanted to play for you so little that he strung you along for 3 months? Mm-hmm. Do you feel good about losing James Daniels? Oh, wait, who said it again?
I said the older headache at wide receiver.
I was about to say, I thought you said getting rid of a deeper wide receiver. Oh, yeah, well, you did, but you got one right back.
Right.
There's nothing about this that's overly impressive to me. No. It looks like the same Pittsburgh Steelers team I've seen with a flashier quarterback. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And your ceiling meets your floor every year. And it's probably not going to change this year either.
Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the tiny house of the NFL because the ceiling and the floor touch each other.
Yes.
They come to a point on the back side of the house.
Mm-hmm. It's like living in a crawl space.
Yep.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. AFC North off-season grades continue next. Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns.
Our Radio Music Festival.
And we're clear.
Is coming back
to
Las Vegas.
September 19th and 20th. Streaming live only on Hulu.
The Browns should take about 10 seconds.
A weekend full of superstar performances, never-before-seen collaborations, and once-in-a-lifetime artist moments you'll have to see to believe. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. Get your tickets today at AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and more people are looking beyond pills and steroids and surgery. At QC Kinetics, they've been on the cutting edge of this medical revolution since 2018. Using regenerative medicine, they've helped tens of thousands of people get lasting joint pain relief using natural treatments that harness your body's own healing power. The truth is, regenerative medicine used to be an alternative treatment, but now it's mainstream. And QC Kinetics is the nation's leader. Their well-respected protocols include potent and powerful cellular-level treatments to revitalize and restore damaged joint tissue. They're not masking the pain. They're going after the very source of it. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Learn more about this revolutionary treatment and get a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
From iHeart Podcast. Before social media, before cable news, there was Alan Berg.
He was the first
and the original shock jock.
That scratchy, irreverent kind of way of talking to people and telling them that you're an idiot and I'm going to hang up on you.
This is Live Wire, the loud life and shocking murder of Alan Berg.
And he pointed to the Denver phone book and said, well, there are probably 2 million suspects.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Live Wire, and listen now.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, we have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingles and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is Morgan Lynch with Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our value of urgency, timely, responsive, focused, prioritizing you as our customer and the community we serve. To do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Experience a Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Looking for something fresh on Thursday nights? Join us at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue for WTF Thursdays. That's Women to the Front, a new live music series spotlighting incredible solo female artists. Every Thursday from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. in partnership with WTF Fest, we're bringing powerful performances and good vibes to the stage. It's free, it's fun, and it's all about supporting women in music. WTF Thursdays at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, downtown Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
We're back in the Sportsocracy. NFL offseason grades. The AFC North, the cellar dwellers of the North, the Cleveland Browns. They are the gift that keeps on giving, as Gambit fan said in the YouTube comments. It's amazing to me how year after year it just keeps getting worse. Like, we felt like there was a moment there where this team may be building something for the future. Like, rewind about 2-3 years ago, and it has, at every turn, it's just been one bad break, bad decision after another. And now you have Kenny Pickett and Joe Falco as your quarterback.
Oh no, you forgot the one. Because it's already started.
The Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, Shedur's been so impressive.
Good Lord.
I told you this was coming. I told you. I don't know what to do with Cleveland. I really don't. I really don't. I do not know what to do with Cleveland Browns. It is, I mean, this camp is going to be an absolute sideshow.
Mm-hmm. Throw in the fact that you added Deontay Johnson to the room. I mean, the guy who's been a head case and a distraction everywhere he's been.
Uh-huh.
And you have a touchy situation anyway with the quarterback room. Like, I could just fully see at some point, like 4 days into training camp, Deontay Johnson starts talking about the quarterback that he really wants and gets loud, and it gets uncomfortable. Because if he hitches his wagon to Shedeur Sanders, and yet they're still trying to play this, well, Kenny's the 1, Flacco's the 2, Dillon's the 3, Shedeur's the 4. And then you have a loudmouth head case that is all over the 4th-string quarterback, along with the fan base. It just seems ridiculous to me.
This has all the makings of I tried to tell you. When the owner gets involved and brings in Shedeur Sanders and puts a magnifying glass on a situation that's not good. Look, this team's not good. All right, I've seen people in our chat over the course of this day talking about different teams that could be bottom 5 in the NFL. I'm going to level with you. The 5 worst teams in the NFL are really easy to figure out. The New York Jets are terrible. The New Orleans Saints are terrible. The Cleveland Browns are terrible. From there, it gets a little tougher. That's the bottom 3. You've only got 2 spots left, and they could go to the New York Giants, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Indianapolis Colts. But the 3 I know, I don't think the Titans are that bad. The 3 I know are the Saints, the Browns, and the Jets. These teams are not good. But then you put a catalyst because the owner tells you to draft Shedeur Sanders. The reaction when they put in that card is everything you need to know. They couldn't even fake it on camera. And you know, the sad part of that is that I actually have liked a lot of things that Cleveland has done. I love the trade down from 2. I love that they traded down, got Mason Graham, who I'm in love with. Mm-hmm. You get an extra pick next year. I think they're going to end up with 2 picks in the top 5 in a class that's going to be really, really good. And all anybody's going to want to talk about Shedeur Sanders, who may or may not ever see the field. And if he does, may or may not should have seen the field. It's so bothersome to me because Cleveland Brown fans deserve better. Look, we were in Cleveland last year. We met some great people there. It's a great sports city. And I'm watching your ownership group and your management group. They're running this team the way that loser franchises are run. Oh, we want to get headlines. Go draft Shedeur Sanders. Name me a time that's ever worked. When you're trying to grab headlines. It's what the Jets did with Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
It was a miserable failure. It's what Cleveland did with Johnny Manziel. It was a miserable failure.
It's what the Cleveland Browns did with Deshaun Watson.
And Brady Quinn.
It was a miserable failure.
There are certain places that it is not conducive to quarterbacks because you do not have a program to develop quarterbacks. There is a reason the Cleveland Browns have not had a quarterback in 50 years. Legitimately, the 2 best in your franchise's history are Bernie Kosar and I don't know that I have a 2 here.
Derek Anderson.
I thought that name did cross my mind. So did Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny? I don't even remember him playing for the Browns.
Maybe he didn't.
I
thought he did. Who am I thinking of?
I'm looking it up. Hang on. Talk amongst yourself.
It's brutal. It is absolutely brutal.
He did. 93, 94, 95.
That's what I thought. I thought he played for because he wound up in Baltimore, and that's when he came to the Jets.
He went from Tampa to Cleveland.
Yes, because then he was in Baltimore for a year, and then he came to the Jets, and had a career resurgence. Sadly enough, he's the best quarterback in our team history too, which just made me really sad.
It was 12-1, 10-6. And 9-7 for the Jets.
Oh yeah. Oh, there will be no bad words said about Vinny Testaverde. David L said Otto Graham. So I have a personal rule. If you played in the league before we understood that running into each other at full speed was bad for your health, I don't count you. Like if we still thought cigarettes were healthy, I don't count you. And Otto Graham kind of falls into that. Like when doctors would prescribe cigarettes to deal with your cough, I can't consider you to. I get it. He was great. It's fine. See what he would do against the modern-day Baltimore Ravens.
Baker Mayfield is the second best quarterback in Browns history.
Could be. And there's a reason for that. That you just don't have a system that's conducive to quarterbacks.
Right.
Deshaun Watson. I want to ask you a question, just simply because I don't think there's a lot here with the Browns. I gave him a C+ solely off of the trade with the Jaguars because I think you fleeced the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right.
Because I don't think they were ever taking Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard that the entire process that they were not taking Travis Hunter. And I couldn't tell you why. It was through the grapevine.
Right.
A year from now, when Deshaun Watson is no longer a member of the Cleveland Browns,
mm-hmm.
does anybody else sign him?
No.
I think you're right. I really do. I think he's just done. I think Deshaun Watson is done. I don't think he ever plays another snap in the NFL.
I agree. I don't know a team that would bring that on willingly. I wouldn't bring him in as a backup for anybody.
No.
And I'm damn sure not signing him to be a starter.
No, it would be one thing if he just came with the baggage. He's also been terrible.
Right. I mean, could you imagine the hoops you would have to try to jump through next year if, like, the Indianapolis Colts tried to make him their starter next year?
Ugh.
Right. Nobody's going to do that.
I have a juicy little tidbit on the Indianapolis Colts for Friday, too, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I know what it is, and I'm already laughing in my head before I've even said it.
The number one thing I'm going to be watching anything with the Cleveland Browns this year is Quinshon Judkins.
Look, I liked what they did in the draft. You know, Schlesinger might have been a little high for me. Fannin may have been a little high, but as I watched the tape, I just liked him more and more. You had two running backs in Dylan Sampson, Quinshon Judkins that I really like. I think you added pieces that are going to be guys. And had you not at any point said, hey, you know what we should do? We should draft a quarterback. If you hadn't done that, I would have probably had this as a B+ or better.
Mm-hmm.
Because, hey, you know next year's a better quarterback class, right? Like, even if 5 of those dudes don't come out, it's still a better quarterback class than this last one.
Right. It made sense until ownership got involved.
It didn't make sense when you took Dylan Gabriel. The minute you took Dylan Gabriel, you had already fallen. You were out to lunch to me.
Dylan Gabriel's not even taking a snap. He's already the 4th best quarterback in Browns history. Which ain't saying much.
To me, you basically took Colt Brennan at the end of the 3rd round and went, hey, we got a quarterback.
He's
nope.
Not that bad.
Oh, he's that bad. And he's like 4'7", weighs $130. Dylan Gabriel looks at Chet Holmgren and goes, man, you got any attempts on me to gain some weight? Can I get some of those Ensure shakes you're packing down there, Chet?
Cleveland Browns staring down the
I have a picture
of a 4-win season again.
I have a picture from the Senior Bowl. I was down on the field, and Dylan Gabriel walked by me, and it just so happened that the picture was taken because I wasn't even down there for Dylan Gabriel. He just walked right beside me. It, honest to God, looked like I could have grabbed him by the forehead and eaten him because he is so much smaller than me that it was comical. I can't even remember who I was down there with. It was one of the players. He was a big guy. And I have that picture. I came across it on my hard drive as I was getting ready for the all season putting stuff in the Dropbox. I saw that picture and went, oh, yeah. I remember when that little fella walked by. Like, oh, they let somebody's kid wear a jersey. That was cute. That was nice.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 Cleveland Browns. Again, like I said, staring down the barrel of another 4-win season. At best. It's a bad time. Always a bad time to be a Browns fan, correct?
Jets fan, too. My sympathy runs deep because I feel your pain.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville. Your mountain weather forecast.
Hot, but not as hot as it's going to be to our east. That's where the advisories are, but still pretty uncomfortable today. Cleared this morning. Mostly sunny this afternoon, low 90s. Tonight, mainly clear in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, we may pop an afternoon shower thunderstorm. Other than that, it's sunshine and clouds and highs in the low 90s. Wednesday, a few showers, thunderstorms in the afternoon, low 90s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick.
Do you want to squish these two together, or would you rather split it up with a break?
Nah, we're good.
Just realize
whichever one's
your
easier for
business
you.
needed to hire someone.
Oh, it don't matter to me. I was just if you'd rather have that benchmark in between the segments for your recording purposes or whatever.
At Indeed.com.
Okay. We'll just keep it all together then.
Nah, I'm just doing it in big
EasyCater
sets.
to order food for staff lunch.
Okay.
46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steve and Irma and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels.
We'll go Cincy, then Baltimore.
That'll do. Especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. That's VAXAssist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
You've got an app for your music, but what about your favorite morning show, sports team, or live local news and weather?
Things start to change.
Yep, there's an app for all that too. iHeartRadio. Download the #1 app for radio, the free iHeartRadio app.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
Off-season grades continuing here in the Sportsocracy on a Monday afternoon. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope you're being able to guard yourself from the heat. It's now 88 degrees outside of the Ingles studio. It's brutally hot, hitting the heat wave of the summer here. If it's this hot now, imagine how hot it's going to be in a month. Late July, brutal. I was thinking the other day, Jeremy, that it felt like Bell Share weather.
Oh,
It was just
the Bell Show?
Oppressively hot, and then all of a sudden it just, bam, sky opened up, thunderstorm, hail, right in the middle of a sunny day. AFC North off-season grades. Cincinnati Bengals are next. They poured all the money into the weapons. You didn't really have a choice when you have a superstar like Jamar Chase and a borderline superstar in T. Higgins. I guess you just do what you got to do to keep the band together. And they poured all their money into that. Is that enough, though, to put them back in the contender seat?
Cincinnati's hard for me because this Shamar Stewart thing it's getting to a really goofy point. And it kind of puts a microscope on the front office of, it's really no wonder that you haven't been able to capitalize on Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. But because this is stupid. Like, we're officially to a stupid point with the Shamar Stewart thing. Get the deal done and move on.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy you took in the top 20 of the NFL draft. Oh, by the way, you don't have any other pass rushers, so you really need him not only to be on this team, but you need him to be in camp, you need him to be good. And you're delaying this for what? To have a void in a contract if he gets in trouble? A guy who, oh, by the way, has never been in trouble in his life, to my knowledge. I checked. I had to go back and see, did he have a character red flag that I'm missing somewhere? Nope.
Nope. It's like he said. They're at this point, they just want to win an argument. And you're shooting yourself in the foot. What's the deal with Jahdae Barron? Because I was reading earlier today that he hasn't signed either. Like, him and Shamar are the only ones.
They're the 2 first-round picks. It's not that untoward. I don't think anything's going on there. I think Jahdae's just the last one. And Jahdae could be done any day.
Right. Because Jacksonville locked up Hunter, and that left Shamar and Jahdae as the only first-round picks that were left that had not signed a deal yet. Shamar's kerfuffle with the team has been ridiculous.
Randy L. has actually a really good point in our YouTube comments. He says, not like they drafted Mike Green. If they drafted him and added that clause, then okay, I get it. Yeah. I actually can tell you, Baltimore has no interest in putting a clause like that in Mike Green's deal. That's one of the things that's hanging Shamar Stewart up so much.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. That guy's not getting one of these morality clauses, but I am? Nah, dog. No way I'm signing. And I'll tell you, at this point, if I'm Shamar Stewart, I'd tell him point blank, there is no way I would tell you to sign a deal with that language in it. Ever.
Yeah. But nobody else has it, right?
No.
I mean, Seattle didn't, or not. It's not Seattle. Cincinnati's never done this before with another first-round pick. They they haven't done it with any of their other signees, have they?
No.
So what's the deal?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
The Trey Hendrickson thing, that all got solved? Did it? No?
I mean, I think Trey's going to be in Cincinnati, but it has not been solved, per se. They haven't signed a deal or anything like that.
Right.
Gambit fan said Cincinnati apparently wants to be the gold standard going forward. Hey, you want me to tell you what people around the NFL call you? Cheap as hell.
Mm-hmm.
That was the verbatim term that I got. If this had been any other team, we would not be railing on them the way that we are. But the fact it's Cincinnati and they have a history of doing things like this, it just compounds it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, I don't understand how you look at Joe Burrow and go, we're doing everything to put the best team around you humanly possible. I don't know. Between Trey and Shamar, you've got to be able to get after the quarterback because the back half of that defense is just not overly impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And then to have both of your pass rushers that are not even going through camp. One, because you don't want to sign Trey Hendrickson for multiple years, which to me is dumb. I get it. He's 30 years old, but he's also not some athletic freak. Do you know that Trey Hendrickson's PFF grade has literally gone up every year of his career except one?
Yes.
And it just stayed the same that one. He just had the best year of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when you're wanting to take a hard line of, no, we're not signing you for multiple years.
Not even a 3-year deal? I mean, he is only 30.
According to Adam Schefter, and I see Randy shared this in the YouTube chat, Cincinnati wants 1 year at $28 to $30 million. Trey wants multiple years at $35. What is the difference?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I talk about these things just like with Mike Green. I get it. There's more guaranteed money on Mike Green than there is on Shamar Stewart. It's still fractional compared to what this team is spending. And without Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson, you have less than no shot.
Mm-hmm.
If you're telling me next year you're trotting out Miles Murphy and I don't even know who the other one would be. That's your two edge rushers? Joseph aside, that's probably who it would be. You're done like dinner. You will get obliterated defensively. And it's just it's one of those things. Nobody seemingly ever leaves Cincinnati. They've had the same brain trust forever. And you go back to the ownership and just go, even when I think you figured it out, you haven't. And you revert back to the same Mike Brown loser nonsense that you've been doing for 40 years.
How does the holdouts in the contract and kerfuffles, as I called them, how do they affect that off-season grade?
I'm not really ready to give Cincinnati a grade solely because the two biggest parts of your offseason. I mean, I got to give you credit for getting T. Higgins back. I do have to give you credit for that. The fact that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are going to be on this field with Joe Burrow next year, that sets you at probably no worse than a C-. But, the Shamar Stewart thing is so unbelievably stupid that I can't have you any higher than that.
Right. All right, and the final team in the AFC North. It's the Baltimore Ravens.
Save the best for last.
The Baltimore Ravens off-season grade is what?
B+. You didn't do anything crazy. But, do you realize how good this roster actually is? If DeAndre Hopkins if he's a fraction of what he used to be, this offense is going to be ridiculous. The line scares me a little bit just because you're counting on several guys that have had some injury issues in the past. But the defense is really good. Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton together is going to be insane.
Yeah.
And it could have even been better if Ardarius Washington hadn't gotten hurt. And now you've added Jair Alexander to Marlon Humphrey. Oh, and by the way, you got Chidobe Awuzie too. This team is ridiculously good. Gambit fan said, "Oh, look, it's the anti-Cleveland."
Right. Where's the weakness for the Ravens? I don't really see a weakness on the offense.
The line scares me a little bit on the offense.
Okay, because
you got
Ronnie
Stanley and Voorhees are both guys that are just duct taped together.
Right.
And you're not super deep. I do like that they added Noteboom. And I do believe if things went sideways, Emory Jones could come in and play guard.
Yeah.
So, they've got play. But, I'm nitpicking here to the highest degree.
No doubt. You look at Noteboom, Cleveland, and Emory Jones. That's about some of the best depth that you're going to find on an offensive line in the league.
That's pretty good. And, every pick that they made, they added Kamen Rucker, they added Mike Green, they added Jay Higgins, they added Teddy Buchanan, Aeneas Peebles, all guys that I talked about through the process going, these guys are going to be players in the NFL.
Yep.
And then they all go to one team. Because of course they do. Because of course they do. Because the Baltimore Ravens are the definition of how an NFL team should be run.
And now comes the expectation. The expectation that you're finally going to get over that hump. You're finally going to be able to take down Kansas City or Buffalo standing in your way.
You have to make a bet right now. You have to go to your local sports book and put down an amount of money that matters to you on who's going to win the Super Bowl in 2025. How many teams you taking over Baltimore?
Two.
I don't have any.
Maybe three.
I have none. I can't look at that Kansas City offensive line and say that that's good. An issue they had last year is all of a sudden fixed. Because I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I can't look at Buffalo, who I don't think really got any better. I know you really want to tout the Joey Bosa thing. It doesn't mean anything to me. I can't say they're better than Baltimore, even though they beat them last year. I think Baltimore got better and everybody else stayed either the same or got fractionally worse.
Okay.
And now I'm just looking at Baltimore going, if we're being honest here, I don't know how you're supposed to beat them. They don't have a weakness, as you said. The defense and their deep, good, googly move, they are deep. They're my pick to win the Super Bowl. I think this is the year. Because I look at the highest side of the NFL, and every single high-end team, whether it's the Eagles, whether it's the Bills, the Chiefs, I think all of them have either stayed right there and some of them have regressed.
Yep. Alex S. says the weakness is health. Yeah.
That's a big thing.
It has been.
For sure.
It feels like it has been for 6 years.
Well, and he's got a really good point. Their style of play gets them every year because you got a quarterback that takes hits. He's missed some time late in the season, but that's what you brought Derrick Henry in for. That's what you brought DeAndre Hopkins in for. Is to take 2, 3, 4 hits a game off Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Whether that's in the pocket, whether that's down the field with him running. Defensively, that might be the deepest defense I've ever seen. I mean, it's comical. This looks like a team that I would have built on Madden, where I just traded everybody and I added all these young guys that I really like. It's out of this world how good this team actually is.
Right. And especially last year after Rashad Bateman finally hit his growth spurt. Right, Jeremy had been trying to tell me for 4 years, Rashad Bateman, he's a dude. And then he finally showed up last year and had a dude year. And if this crew can stay healthy, it's the best team that they've had. Stephen Tao, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to give him the Tank Spencer kiss of death.
I'm sure he greatly appreciates that.
A part of me wants to. Part of me wants to, but I'm not going to do it. Just for you. Because roster construction-wise, I don't think there's another team that can really touch them.
It's them in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Them in Philadelphia are the two teams that I just look at and go, you don't really have a weakness.
Right.
Now, I think Philadelphia regressed because they lost a lot of players. And so you're counting on a lot of guys that you don't know exactly what you're getting. Baltimore doesn't have that. Baltimore has none of that. You look at the starters for the Baltimore Ravens this year, look at the starters from last year. You know what you're going to notice? It's a lot of the same names.
Right.
There is no turnover here. There's no we're breaking in a new left tackle. We're breaking in an all-new secondary like the Buffalo Bills are. We're breaking in a new coaching staff. No, it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way,
we're trying to take celebrated veterans and weave them into our little magical concoction of talent here with DeAndre Hopkins and Jair Alexander.
Oh, and by the way, your coach is getting older. Harbaugh's, 62?
Is he?
I think I saw this. I saw a video of him doing a 405-pound squat earlier and went, that's not normal for a 62-year-old man. Yeah, he'll be 63 in September.
Wow.
Yeah.
He a dog.
Yeah. It for some reason, Baltimore feels different to me this year. And I can't really put my finger on exactly what it is that's giving me such confidence with them. This feels like their year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Buffalo has one of those coming. It's just not here yet.
Somebody's got to take advantage at some point of the flux in Kansas City. And your chances get better and better every year. So maybe it is. Maybe this is the year. The Ravens or the Bills, can they be the ones to represent?
That's who I have in the AFC title game.
Mm-hmm.
Bills, Ravens, I got it in Baltimore, and I got Baltimore winning it.
You said who would I take over Baltimore? It's not many, but it's still Kansas City. It's still Philadelphia. And that's probably where I stop. Maybe Detroit. Maybe you could get me there on Detroit.
I can't get there on Kansas City though.
Yeah.
I can't look at that roster and go, with all the problems I saw and how badly you got obliterated in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I just it doesn't feel. Kansas City does not feel as good as Baltimore right now. Now, you got a lot of instability in Kansas City that you don't have in Baltimore.
Yep.
I know what I'm getting. From 1 to 22 of the starters in Baltimore, I know exactly what I'm getting.
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. It's 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The off-season grades will continue on tomorrow's program. We'll be with you right here at noon on ESPN Asheville and, of course, on the YouTube stream, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
We're working a whole week this week. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're off on Wednesday.
Well, I'm off every Wednesday. But
exactly.
We are working as a collective show group. We're working a whole week. And then we're off for a week. But then we're back, and there are no more off days. Then it's football all day, every day for the rest of the summer.
Right. Tomorrow on the program, we will give you the off-season grades for the Wests, AFC and NFC West, by request here in the Sportsocracy. In the meantime, hope everybody stays cool. Have a good evening. And we'll be back with you at noon right here on ESPN Asheville. See you then.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Hot, but not as hot as it's going to be to our east. That's where the advisories are, but still pretty uncomfortable today. Cleared this morning. Mostly sunny this afternoon, low 90s. Tonight, mainly clear in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, we may pop an afternoon shower thunderstorm. Other than that, it's sunshine and clouds and highs in the low 90s. Wednesday, a few showers, thunderstorms in the afternoon, low 90s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stijic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Total Wine & More. Ready to kick off summer right? Total Wine & More has the seltzers, spirits, and summertime essentials you need. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B20.
At the price you want, knowing Nissan is here for you at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
For a limited time until supplies last, assembled with U.S. and imported parts.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Grig Electric is now hiring. Excellent pay, competitive benefits, year-end bonuses, and more. Company vehicles issued for licensed electricians. Go to grigelectric.com or call 828-232-0021 to join the team at Grig Electric, serving WNC since 1976.
For the 2025 Atlanta Braves, it's time to dial in, which means every game means a little more.
First pitch, ground ball right side. Diving stop by Ozzie. Got him. Whoa, what a play by Albies. Coverage brought to you locally by Parks Ford of Hendersonville.
Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The mountain's home for the Braves on Asheville's #1 sports station. ESPN Asheville.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah, and they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Did you know that Ingalls sells a huge variety of organic items? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA choice and prime meat? Did you know that they have more local craft beer than any place else? Or that they have Energy Smart stores? Or that they professionally slice and package imported cheese from Europe? Did you know about their giant international aisle, local farm partnerships, curbside pickup, wine department, or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag. Ingalls. Low prices. Love the savings.
Peace, strength. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. Fears of a wider war are growing.
This is just getting started.
If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Start checking in more often.
A peacemaker in chief.
40,000 troops across the Middle East.
President Xi and President Putin
taking note.
What comes next? On News Radio 570 WWNC.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this summer's Parks Community Hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. A critical need exists today. Join us on June 27th at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, help save a life and donate blood, and make a direct impact in our community and support all of our community heroes. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls studio,